guy is pouring his heart out, and Keem's laughing at the idea that Boogie's just gonna jump in front of a bus. That's just the greatest idea that's ever crossed Keem's mind. He thinks that this is all giddy and cool. That's epic. I mean, what is there to expect? We've said it a million times with Boogie. If you let random anonymous people online get under your skin, why is he even on the platform, dude? And then like all three of them, Keemstar and Wings included, want to say they want to make the show and then get upset when they get criticized for shit or called out for stuff. And they're like, no, we have to moderate that. We have to remove that from chat. We can't be having that. It's so stupid. It's like you're opening yourself up for the criticism and you want to burrow in your hole. You can't make the cake and eat it too, buddy.
I look like somebody who's about to fucking pop. I'm a 50-year-old, 420-pound man.
Boogie, I'm gonna be honest. You look good. Your complexion looks good.
Because I try, man. I'm fucking trying. I started a new medicated shampoo to try to get this eczema off my fucking face. I can't even take my goddamn blood pressure. It's so high, this machine is erroring out.
You better get used to this, because Boogie is just gonna... I have to use my blood pressure fucking meter nonstop. I have to check and see what it is every 5 seconds. And he'll go on some crazy tangents, screaming and wilding out, just completely disregarding the fact that he does have ultra high blood pressure, probably at the level that he should just be, I don't know, bedbound in a hospital. I don't know. That's what it seems like it should be at. But I love that he's saying I'm working on it, after Keemstar says he doesn't even look that bad. You know, he's saying I'm working on it. I got eczema shampoo. Boogie. Let's clap it up for Boogie, guys. Come on. He's really figuring it out. His life is finally being transformed so that his head isn't as itchy as it normally is. That's most definitely what is up. That's very cool, Boogster. And you're not going to mention anything that you're trying to do to make your health any better. None of that's going to come into fruition ever in your life.
Hundreds of dollars. That's a heart specialist and a blood specialist. I do know it's $78 a pop every time I wanted to drain my fucking blood, and I'm supposed to be doing that once a week, and I just don't do it because I can't afford to throw away $400 a month on that shit.
Well, you're making it on Loco.
Yes, that's going towards the mortgage, Dan. I have to pay my fucking mortgage. I have a $2,000 mortgage. I have a $500 health insurance bill. I have $500 a month in medications I have to pay for.
You know it's serious when he's calling him Dan. All right, Daniel Keem, you better sit down and get ready. I have to spend $3,000 on my mortgage and medicine every month. I know, that's crazy. And allegedly they're making around $2,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less a month. So he's got his mortgage covered. I have no idea what he's making on his fucking channel. It can't be like anything, basically. He's getting, what, 20K views a video, roughly, something like that. So we'll get a little bit more. I don't know what his RPM is, so who knows exactly what he's getting from there. But I would imagine it would at least cover the extra 1,000. Now he has other stuff that he has to take care of, maybe every once in a while. He has to pay for electric and gas and water and internet, blah, blah, blah. I get it. So we're looking at $4,000 of mandatory expenses, plus probably, I don't know, he probably spends an extra $2,000 on food every month. That'd be my guess. So it's not looking good for him, to say the least. Now, could he cut these things back? Of course. Will he? Absolutely not. That's not in the picture. Boogie has to be the victim. He just can't come up with the money, man. Geez, dude. I need that money. I really do, but is $10 okay?
I'm not going to ask him for money. If anything, I owe him money.
Okay, so where is he going to live? Where is he going to live when you die?
He gets the house. It's all in his name. My will is for him. He executes the will. He gets the house. He gets everything.
So your roommate has literally no motive for you to stay alive.
And yet he's making me stir fry right now. He's literally cooking a stir fry for dinner right now.
And he's probably putting crack cocaine in the stir fry to make sure your heart explodes. He has
No,
no incentive to make you fucking live.
Other than I'm his best friend and only family for the last 30 years.
I would change
That's a
your
pretty
will.
good-
He has no money. Does he have a
I'm sure
job?
he has some savings left.
Dude, it's just so fucking you're doing all this stuff. You're doing all this stuff for these people, and
Yes.
not one of them can give you $75 for copays.
If they could, I'm certain that they would by now.
So here's the whole thing about the roommate that I think Boogie will never acknowledge. I think part of the reason that Boogie feels this obligation to help out this dude, I would never feel this. If I'm being 100%, if you're best friends for 30 years and you're living in my house for 10 years, you probably have a grace period. You know, if you help me out in the past, maybe you get half that time. Maybe you get 5 years of freedom. All right, past that, it's like, all right, man, you know, especially if I'm in financial dire straits, I'm gonna need some bones kicked in every once in a while. It doesn't have to be a huge lump sum, but maybe you buy groceries, all right? Or maybe you pay the electric bill and the internet bill every month, something like that, right? We'll compromise. We'll figure something out. Because if he's truly a best friend, that's cool. We're helping each other out. But the dilemma is Boogie is the only provider in the entire house. That is stupid. Mega stupid for a guy that is on the verge of dying and is also financially destitute. That is regarded. And Boogie trying to explain it away is so stupid. It is a waste of time. And the reason I think Boogie feels this way to help out his friend is because deep down, I think this dude is probably wiping Boogie's ass. I'm being 100% honest. I think the reason that Boogie doesn't want to make his friend do anything because he doesn't want to have any fallout with this guy. You know, if he pushes him too far, what if he leaves and tells everybody all the shit he has to do for Boogie? Well, that'd be fucked up. That would be really messed up, you know? And Boogie doesn't want that. Either that, or Boogie truly is just the grandest, greatest guy in the entire world. Of course, silly me, that has to be the solution. Boogie's so cool and epic. And just as a side note, Boogie, I don't think eating stir fry is gonna make your heart rate go down anymore or make your health condition get any better, all right? I don't think consuming probably 3,000 milligrams of sodium is gonna help you out, buddy. It's probably not even freshly made. It's not like you're chopping up the vegetables and you're getting some specialty soy sauce that probably came from PF Chang's frozen bag and you're heating it up. So big ups to both of you.
You had to been intaking fucking 4,000, 5,000 calories a day. A guy your size, if you go down to 2,000 calories a day like a normal person, you'd lose weight.
Yes, Keemstar, if I could overcome my food addiction, my lifelong food addiction, you're right. A lot of my problems would be solved.
Food is
Why do you think I'm
expensive.
trying to get the fucking medication
But
that fucking helps me with this? Why do you think I begged you live for the money to pay for the medication that Michael used to lose 50 fucking pounds? Michael used that shit and lost 50 fucking pounds. Jordy won that contest because he stole his wife's fucking Ozempic. I'm begging you for the money to save my life, to take that life-saving drug so I can overcome my addiction. There's literally a shot that will overcome my addiction and I can't buy it. You think I haven't begged every person I know, Keemstar? You think you're the only person that can beg?
So if I loan you the money to pay to go on this drug to lose the weight, you'll pay me back after you sell the magic cards?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
All right.
This whole conversation is so moronic. I am still hyper skeptical of Ozempic, even though I've interacted with people in my everyday life who take it and I've seen crazy results from them, you know? And there's one aspect of Boogie that I will actually show some amount of sympathy for because I can relate to it, and that's food addiction. And Keemstar not being able to understand why Boogie can't go from 5,000 calories a day to 2,000, it doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, it's because of his food addiction. And if you're sitting out there saying, oh my God, he just has to stop eating so much, it is so much harder than you actually think. There is a psychological toll that goes on in your head where you're constantly thinking about food nonstop. I mean, it goes on with me pretty frequently, where you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, let's go get ice cream. Let's go get candy. Now, you can build up some discipline related to it. It's not foolproof. Sometimes your desires come over you and you can't control yourself. The biggest problem is that Boogie has basically never made any real attempts to try and fix his situation. He's done all this therapy work and none of that shit's ever worked. He's never really looked introspectively into trying fixing his health. He just kind of, well, that's just how it is. I'm just gonna fucking die this way because that's just the shit cards I've been dealt. My entire life has been shit, therefore everything in the future is gonna be shit. And that defeatist attitude has led him to where he is now. Low key, here's why I actually think should go down. I think Keem should work out some sort of contract with Boogie where he's like, all right, I'm gonna give you as a token of my gratitude for you being on the podcast and how much you contribute, and allegedly we're friends, who really knows about that, I will pay for Ozempic. Because I think nowadays it's not even like that crazily expensive. When it first came out, it was like insane. But like Keem can afford it. But Keem has a stipulation in there where he says, I'm gonna check in. You have to do something. You have to walk around the block once a day. And I'm gonna check in on that every single month. And if I'm not seeing that, I'm cutting you off. All right? I mean, I think there's a solution that we can get out of this, but these two stubborn mules are never gonna compromise on anything.
No. He will never talk to you. He'll never be on the stream. He'll never be on social media. If you come film him, I'll beat the shit out of you if you can try. Turkey Tom came to this house. He wasn't allowed to film him. If he did, I told him he'd throw your ass out. Same thing with Mike Klum. I said, if you film him, you're throwing the fuck out. I mean that to every single one of you. Y'all accidentally film that motherfucker.
I don't get it, because you have good credit. You have collateral, right? You have the house. Take a loan out. You know you have this money coming. Take a loan out. Get on the safe.
Here's something else, and we left this out of the financial audit, and I've never told you guys this before. I've told this to Keemstar privately. The drugs they have me on, I sleep 12 to 16 hours a day. I can barely function as a person anymore.
Don't worry, guys. The victim mentality is coming back out. Why don't you just do more stuff? Why don't you get up in the morning and take a swift walk around your backyard? You know, that's a start. You know, when I first started losing weight, now I had ups and downs with losing weight. It took me way longer to actually achieve what I wanted to. But when I first started, my dad said, hey, you're laughing at anybody that's sitting on their couch, right? That's the mentality you should have whenever you're doing anything. And Boogie wants to say, well, because I can't run a marathon, why should I even bother? Well, that's not how. Nobody just gets up off their couch and starts to run a marathon, all right? Doing a lap around your backyard 3 times a day, holy shit, that's a great start. And if you work on it, maybe you can do, I don't know, 6 laps a day. Maybe you can do 10 laps a day. Oh man, now you're walking down the street a month or 2 later. All right? Are you starting to see how these things compound? I mean, Boogie loves to talk about cryptocurrency and how he was going to be a gajillionaire, a billionaire. Well, the compound in money can be compound with your weight. I know it's a crazy analogy, but if Boogie just took his head out of his ass every once in a while, he might actually start to understand that. But no. When you start to exercise, that's bad for you. It just won't work out.
And then who takes care of the house? Well, I have to pay somebody else. So I swear to God, if you ever say this shit to me again, Keemstar, I'm in danger sitting here. I'm in danger sitting here. I'm not allowed to do anything, Keemstar. My blood pressure's 200 over 130 right now, man. If I'm standing up, this could fucking kill me. This could fucking kill me.
This is the most annoying, aggravating part of the entire video that we're going to go over right now. Because Boogie is going to say, well, I can't do anything. I literally can't do anything. I'm not allowed to do anything. Boogie, you were just in Cleveland. You just drove your ass up from Arkansas to Cleveland and you can't do shit. You do all these fucking fairy tale bullshit scripts with your girlfriend where you're driving around doing shit, but no, I can't do anything. I can't do anything. Did you cut out parts where it was hurting the walk and maybe you're riding a scooter? Yeah, sure. You probably did do those things. But to pretend like you physically cannot do anything, then how the hell did you get to your desk? How did that happen? How would you ever get out of your bed? You're selling yourself short because you're a victim and you want to cry and complain. Oh, Keemstar, you better not say that shit. You better not. It's like, give me a fucking break. You're the softest teddy bear that's ever existed in the entire world. All right? You're not threatening anybody. Nobody's intimidated by you. Nobody thinks that you're some big tough guy. Everybody understands that you're a weak, frail little man who can't accomplish anything in his life. He's a failure and will proceed to be a failure because you have no interest in reforming yourself.
I'm going to default on my mortgage at the end of April unless we find some fucking money.
No, you're not, because dude, you're making enough money to pay for the mortgage just on the show. What are you talking about?
We're gonna have King Charlie and Mudahar and everybody else shitting down my fucking throat for daring not wanting to fucking die and asking the people I entertained for 17 fucking years to help me.
Calm down, Boogie. Calm down.
They will eat me alive. Look at what fucking Charlie did last time. Look at what fucking Mudahar did last time. I'm not going through that again. I'm not going through that again. Go f yourself. I will not go through that again.
Stop.
I will not go through that again. I almost put a bullet in my head over that. I am not doing that again.
Okay, stop yelling. Dude, calm down. You can't do that. You can't yell and have outbursts like that.
Yeah, it's our fault, guys. Come on. Because Mudahar and Critical want to come out and lambast Boogie because he's lying about a GoFundMe. Meanwhile, we still know Boogie. We still know when you made that video a year and a half ago about asking for money that you had $200,000 at that point. We still know that. All right, we're not stupid. We understand that you lost a lot of that because you didn't take the money out, but you still had that money at that point. And you sold any goodwill you've ever had. So why in the world should anybody, you were a millionaire. And if you didn't fucking shoot yourself in the foot repeatedly, you would continue to have money. But no, you wanna siphon any last goodwill you have off the back of the fucking minimum wage McDonald's employees that watch you. Big ups.
You left Twitter because you didn't want to see.
I didn't sleep for 2 days.
And you didn't want to see the tweets.
It's bad for my mental health.
And it's bad for your mental health. Yes. So
and my blood pressure when I got out of bed this morning was 200 over 130. There's a little bit. That's what I'm going to use to pay for next month. About $3K. And I'm going to use it to pay all the bills next month. And then I'm done. And that's it. Once it's gone in April, it's gone. That's my life savings. Gone. I have no safety net anymore.
Okay.
I have no safety net. That was it.
Listen to me. All you need is about 90 days.
Because there's no point in living in my car and being skinnier. There's no point in that.
So what's the fucking point of this crying and sobbing, Boogie? Because we all remember. I remember you were saying I'd rather die happy and doing what I want to do young than do all this work and fail. That's your real scenario. What a pathetic outlook on life. It's really sad. And yet, just 5 seconds ago, he was talking about that, well, I expect money from the people I gave entertainment to for 17 years. You shouldn't expect shit, buddy. You shouldn't expect shit, all right? You started YouTube at a time that was, oh, let's entertain people. And somehow that's morphed into your mind that, oh, these people I'm entertaining, they should be forced to give me money because I entertained them and fallen into a fucking pool 20 years ago. That's epic, Boogie. Maybe in those 20 years, you could have learned some new habits. Maybe you could have tried to reform your life. Maybe you could have tried to make yourself a better person. But that's just too many fucking bridges burned at that point.
It's not more like this is a.
He already did it once. He already did it once. I haven't won the lottery once. I've never won the fucking lottery. This fucking happened though.
No outbursts. Yeah, calm down.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, though, man. Like you're worried about things that hadn't happened, and I know this is the pot calling the kettle black. But this dude isn't going to kill you. He's not Richard Ramirez. He's not going to do anything. Worst thing he's going to do is some vandalization.
Right? We're the ones as content creators that chose to get up on stage for this talent show known as the internet. They get to throw.
I knew now.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Let me finish my point. They get to throw tomatoes at us. All right? They get to talk shit. They get to say bald Keemstar and Keemstar's the real lol cow
And Keemstar's real personality is starting to show. In case you missed it on Twitter, Kiwi and some other people have been posting a picture of Dan Keem without his hat on to him, and they've gotten blocked. Because he's, deep down, we all know that Keemstar actually is a locale. Everybody understands that. Anybody that watches this, he's one of the biggest locales on the entire show. It's really pathetic. And part of the reason why he continues to be that way is because he just doesn't acknowledge it. He doesn't lean into the fact that he actually is one. He wants to fight back as hard as he can, and it just keeps getting funnier and funnier as that time goes on. And Wing's trying to say that Boogie shouldn't be afraid of this guy is kind of dumb because there's already been an incident with him. But like, yeah, I don't think Boogie's house is going to get torched. I don't think he's going to get blown up with a landmine in the front yard.
Keem, I don't know if you understand, but when you're a 410-pound man, when you exercise, your blood pressure goes up. When you exercise, your blood pressure goes up, and going up is bad.
Lose weight, it goes down.
Let's sleep on all this.
I know I've squandered this opportunity. I understand why the internet hates me. I hate me too. But I'm desperately trying to stay alive for you all.
Boogie saying that is exactly why people hate him, and he doesn't understand why people hate him. That's why he constantly says that, oh, I'm getting trolled over shit for asking for money for help. I just needed help. Why won't people help me? Well, you don't understand why people don't like you, fucking idiot. I think that's the vibe of this entire series, is that Boogie is a fucking idiot. Now, should he get some amount of sympathy? Maybe. Maybe. If he showed that he was willing to do literally anything to fix himself, then maybe. But just fucking shooting up drugs into your body and hoping that something works out is not the avenue for me to care at all. If you walked out of here right now and you told your roommate, hey, let's make some fucking grilled chicken and let's make some asparagus and some rice with no butter in it, just seasoning. Just put some seasoning in it. That's it. Okay, that's a step. But now we're gonna continue to go and eat fatty foods and do whatever the fuck we want, and then we're also gonna come back and cry and complain that people don't care that he's dying. It's like, fucking pick a side of the fence that you want to ride on, buddy. All right, either you're happy that you're dying because your life was so miserable and I'm so sad, or you want to fix yourself and you try and actually do stuff. Don't try and play both sides, because nobody's fucking falling for it. Nobody's feeling bad for you. It's just really pathetic at this point. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
There was one girl. I don't know if I should talk about this, Mike, but I'm going to. There was one girl that I dated. She liked a lot of childish things. She liked rubber ducks. That's why I have some of these rubber ducks. And one of my favorite memories with her is us sitting in this tub, her playing with rubber ducks as I washed her, and then when we got out, I took her to bed.
This might be the single creepiest thing that Boogie has ever said, and that there's a lot of different contentions that you could put up there to nominate for him being a creep. But I do want to say from the jump, Mike Klum, I initially said I thought this was going to be a puff piece. I thought it wasn't going to go that hard on Boogie, and I think the way that he directed this documentary on him was actually pretty intriguing. He didn't really interject a whole lot until the latter half of the documentary, and he basically just allowed Boogie to dig his own grave. So I think it's actually pretty intriguing. Boogie has basically outed himself as somebody who is manipulative and obviously goes after women who are destitute in some way. You know, this girl obviously had some sort of issues. She probably had father issues like his current girlfriend that we'll get to later, and she, found refuge in him treating her like her dad that was probably missing in her life, along with all the hookers that we'll get to later. I mean, the whole thing is just sort of a bombshell, and I think it officially closes Boogie's redemption arc. I think it exposes Boogie as being the character that we all assume him to be. We've had those short, 10, 15-minute long videos of him crying, complaining in the past, but now we see that this might be a recurring trend. Before we get any further, I want to apologize if my voice still sounds weird. I'm almost at the end of getting over this cold, so hopefully it's done by the next couple videos, but I won't hold on any longer.
Money comes in, money goes out. For the longest time, my ex-wife never did that shit, but then I got divorced. I don't know where my money is. I don't know what it's doing. The only thing I've ever done with it is I threw it into crypto and then lost a shitload of it. Well, here's everything. If you want to see, there's $2,758 in my bank account right now. And let's see if mortgage is coming up. So tomorrow, when they take mortgage out, I'll have about $700 to live off of until the 20th when I get paid again. I have a credit card with them that I owe $600 on. And on top of that, I still owe $163,000 on my house.
So he'll try and manipulate us and try and make it seem like, oh, man, all these bad things are happening. Well, Boogie, you had plenty of opportunities to live a debt-free lifestyle, and you just chose not to. You chose to completely blow all your money, and we'll find out here very, very quickly. He could have paid off his mortgage on the ladies of the night that he spent money on. So, not a good look for you, Boogs. It really isn't. But it's also like, this interview must have been going on for like such a long time, because either that or he just doesn't have like good circulation in his hands, and that's why his hands wrinkle out so quickly. Because it would take me, God, 15, 20 minutes for my underwater the entire time for my hands to get that wrinkly. I don't know. Must have been an uncomfortable interviewing experience for Mike.
I have 2 glorious wood curtains. I don't like showing it to people, and people don't like seeing it. So that's why I'm going to die alone.
Oh, woohoo! It's me, Boogie. Wah! I did all this work in the past of getting surgery, and then didn't follow through with it at all, and still the failure of a human that we see in front of us right now. But I'm gonna stand here and say, wah! There's no girl I can manipulate at this very moment, so I'm just gonna be sad and die alone. It's like, you don't have anything redeemable about yourself. Maybe when you were slightly wealthy.
I deserve that.
Maybe you could, that's how you got all the hookers, but if you're poor and you're fat and you're ugly and you're about to be bankrupt and kicked out of your house, there's not a lot of redeeming qualities for you, Boogie. Sorry, I know I'm dropping the anvil on your head like a cartoon character, but it's a surprising factor.
So I know I'm budgeting, but I immediately went to Amazon and bought a sound bar for $100. And then the next day, the TV stopped crackling. And now I have a $100 sound bar that I don't need.
So like with everything else in his life, he's just extremely impulsive. And it's also part of the problem with a lot of the consumerist culture that we live in now is that people have no intuition to try and fix the things that they already have, or just deal with a slightly out of date technology. You know, I've had my phone for like 6 years. It still runs perfectly fine. I mean, the battery's not as good as it used to be, but like, it's fine. It can last me throughout the day. I can charge it. Yeah, it doesn't have the best camera compared to what's out now, or video quality or any stuff like that, but like, I can deal with it. I'd rather save the $1,500 I'd spent on a new phone and, you know, parse that out into savings or investments, or maybe I'll get a couch for myself, something like that, you know, something more useful. Boogie, on the other hand, he for 20 minutes watching TV, realizes, oh man, the audio sounds weird. Maybe I should get up and see what's going on. Now I'm gonna just right away, all right, time to type in, buy it on Amazon, we'll pick it up. It's like, dude, I know you think this is like quirky and goofy, and it's like, ooh, oh, silly little me. I didn't even realize that the TV worked after all. It's like, no, you're just a moron. You're a complete regard.
And like it felt really compulsive at the time. You're gonna enjoy a nice lifestyle that you don't normally get to enjoy.
We got back to the hotel. Overall, the experience, and I don't mean to fat shame or anything, but there was rolls upon rolls, and it took me a long time. Sleeping with Boogie is one of the reasons I quit sex work.
I mean, that's one of the most brutal sentences I think I would. I don't know what I would do if that was the scenario I was placed in. And we can't see this lady, but I'm just gonna make my own assumption and say I don't think her figure looks like it would be a very attractive person. Sorry, I know I might be stepping out of line. Maybe it's the orange and yellow and red hair dye you have on the side of your bangs that's throwing me off. Maybe it's the glasses, I don't know. But to say that Boogie basically made you quit your career and go into like nursing, I think is what she did, and get married and have a family. I mean, I guess something good came out of it. Not for Boogie, obviously. But part of it as well is like, I'm pretty impressed with how Mike did all these other scenes. Initially, I didn't think I was gonna like it because I was like, who are these actors he's getting to sit in these large rooms or recreate these scenes, XYZ? But it's actually, it helps fill in the blanks a little bit. And part of it that I didn't mention at the beginning of this video, but I'm curious as to why Boogie wanted Mike to do this documentary. Mike claims that Boogie wasn't paid and himself wasn't paid for this documentary at the time of recording. So why would Boogie want an unknown character who's like fresh out of film school, I guess, to do this documentary on him? It seems really weird to me that he wouldn't want somebody like Turkey Tom to come out. I don't know.
So we're gonna go to the dealer shop. Like, this is gonna keep me from going out on the streets, right? Like, it's gonna keep me in a house. So I think it's bittersweet.
So I'm gonna nerd out for a quick second. The box that he has all these cards in, I believe comes from the Luigi Pikachu promo set from Japan, which I think came out in like 2015 or 2016. A sealed box of that sells for like $6,000 or $7,000 currently. It's like a crazy popular set, and they have promo cards within that box. And if you get a PSA 10 of one of those cards go for similar the cost of the box. So if he would have just sat on it and saved it as an investment, boom, quick cash right there. But no, he can't. He had to open it, and he, I guess, stores his magic cards in there.
No, make it 3 chicken quesadillas.
What's paying for this?
Shit, you're paying me back my hair. That don't hurt.
So I don't know why he was using the Francis voice there when he was ordering the food. Seemed really odd. Seemed really quirky. He also, Mike would call him out and say, you got a chicken quesadilla, but I thought you didn't like chicken quesadillas. And Boogie's just like, well, that's just how it is. I'm just getting food. And it's like, all right, well, this dude literally has zero initiation preference of making his life better. He doesn't take a single stride to improve anything. So like,
Initiative, I think the word you're looking for, my friend. Saturated content. Initiative.
why should anybody care, Boogie? Why?
I might have sprained it or broken it or something. I was walking to the bathroom in there, and there was a loud snap sound, and things kind of shifted in one direction, and now my foot is swelling into my shoe, and it hurts really badly.
Once again, I really don't feel bad for him in this situation. I mean, if you've reached the point in your life where if you roll your ankle, your like entire mobility is thrown off and you have to like go see a doctor to get it checked out, then it's like, well, maybe you should reevaluate your choices. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care. That's the whole point. I think he hams it up for the documentary a little bit in this of like, man, I'm really screwing these things up. I'm really messing up. He does this in all of his videos he gets called out for too, where he'll say, yeah, I do those things. I'm going to make a change. And then he doesn't make a change. And he's still the same person he was when he got the money 5 years ago. So don't feel any sympathy for him.
There are plenty of different content creators that have various mental illnesses all over social media. And some just say, it is what it is, and this is what I'm going to do. Boogie tends to be really obsessed with this idea that it's favorable to have people feel sorry for you, and that kind of victim mentality where you can get further in life if people have compassion on you, regardless of the reasons.
Alcohol. I look like I've been alcohol the last couple of days. Most notably, I ruined my body. Like Mary, I ruined maybe. It's been a method of, I think covert narcissism is the right phrase. Like, oh, look at how pathetic I am. You should feel sorry for me. You would never be mean to me because I'm so pathetic, right? Oh, I'm so fat, I'm so weird, I'm so goofy, I'm such an old man.
See, he's completely aware of who he is and how he acts. He's like, oh yeah, that's just my covert narcissism to try and deflect all the attention I get towards me and push it to somebody else. And it's like, all right, Boogie, you're not fooling me. I know that this is all just you trying to shirk any blame, any resistance against him. But the funny part is, Mike actually comes up with an idea. It's like, you know what, Boogie? You can live this lifestyle of you being a failure forever, or we can go out and we'll try and get you a new job. How's that work?
Don, I'm Boogie, or Steve.
Okay, what do you prefer to be called?
Honestly, probably Steve. Let's go with Steve.
Okay, Steve, no problem. Whatever you prefer. And so you are here today because you are seeking employment. Yeah. You're seeking out new work opportunities.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your background and where you think you want to go with the experience that you already have.
I did work at a small gaming store back in 2006, 2007. I am disabled, recognized by the state of Arkansas, but also the United States government. There's that. Now, the downside of that is I am extremely depressed, so this mental health is something under the table.
You're going to have when you approach everything when you can. And you won't.
I did work in the porn industry for the better part of 7 years, so, I mean...
Be real with me. Do you really think it would be a good idea to go to a real interview and reference? I'm not sure when it comes to the felony, you would have to seek corporate approval for that sort of charge in order to proceed forward with a candidate. And they would ultimately be the ones to make the decision as to whether or not we would feel comfortable presenting someone like that to our clients.
So this whole situation is pretty preposterous because you can tell throughout the entire thing that Boogie really has no intentions of following through with getting a job, and he'll make that pretty clear right after this. But even if he wanted to, it's pretty obvious that he's going to have a hard time finding anything that's worthwhile because of his criminal record, because of his gap in his employment. But he's just completely socially unaware. He's just is like, oh yeah, you know, I worked at a game store like 15 years ago. And it's like, no, Boogie, what you're supposed to say is, I have some editing skills, I have some audio skills, I have some production skills, stuff like that. You would think you would develop that as being a YouTuber over time, but I'm not gonna put the horse before the carriage with that.
Hey, Mike. Listen, dude. I know we're making this documentary and everything, and I know you think I need to get a real job, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to. I'm not going to walk into some job when I have 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm one of the original YouTubers. What I'm going to do instead is go back to making content, go back to telling stories and entertaining people and making money doing it. And you want to check back with me in a couple of months, let's see how things are going. All right? I'll talk to you then.
So this whole thing feels a little bit staged to me, if I'm being honest. It seems like Mike, prior to reach out to Boogie, was like, hey, what do you think about the jobs? And then Boogie sent this completely outlandish voice message response of, oh, well, I'm so famous. I don't need this job. I know he's a major narcissist, but like, even this message comes off as a little bit phony to me. I feel like if he was truly invested in finding an avenue, he would just say, well, I need to find something that's more centered to me. I know he references going back to doing his channel. His channel's dead. He's never going to get any of the attention that he would want in the future, so I don't know. His options are bleak.
I don't know what it was. It was, I guess it's his energy and his curly hair, his glasses. I must be in the nerds. It's, I guess, yeah, he's just adorable to me. I like him. Growing up without a father figure has its challenges.
I mean, it's just perfect. It's a perfect edit. What can I say more than that? I mean, she's a mentally deranged person who clearly has personal issues that she has to address, and dating a destitute, fat 50-year-old is not the avenue that she should be going down. But I've already harped on that, and that's why most of the stuff with his girlfriend I'm sort of cutting out and skipping over. It's not as important because I've talked about a lot of their relationship stuff already.
So if I'm broke, if I go broke, okay, if we end up back on disability and it's me, you, and Chad living in some small apartment and we're eating McDonald's every day and that's treating ourselves, you gonna be able to handle that?
Yeah, I
You stay in
guess
that?
it's me, Chad, eat McDonald's every day in our small, cute apartment.
Because I mean, I'm hopeful that people will go back to watching us on YouTube. I hope that people will be, I'm hopeful that people will like, you know, I can go back to live streaming full time again and do like 6-hour live streams like every other streamer and like grind it out. But I mean, there is a very real possibility that one day I won't be able to do that anymore and we're gonna have to live off of whatever we can. Are you prepared for that?
So she obviously doesn't really care that much. She's young, he's old, he's gonna die in like 5 years, so yeah, I'll ride along with the ride for a little bit. You know, I can jump off at the end. I know she claims that she's super invested into him. I feel like their relationship is very superficial. It's probably centered around, we're both broken spirits. Let's try and advertise you as some sort of OnlyFans girl, because that's the only type of people I can actually date. And that'll probably be her avenue in a little bit. It probably won't take long. And it's obviously a call to action from Boogie of like, oh, let's try and get the fans back. Come on, let's give me a full-time job. And it's like, Boogie, your content is like so dated. And you know it's bad coming from a guy who just makes commentary videos on locales all day. You know that's bad.
I've talked to my therapist since me and her have been together about overcoming it. My therapist keeps telling me the same thing. When you learn to love yourself, all these things will fall into place, and we just got to teach you the skills. And then I turn to my doctor, and I'm like, what do we do? He's like, you've had bypass surgery. You lost 200 pounds. What more can I do for you? I'm like, fix it, dude. Help fix it. And then they're telling me that I'm the one that has to fix it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm making less and less every month, and I'm scared shitless.
He's 50 years old and had the weight loss surgery probably like 10 years ago at this point, and he still doesn't know what he's supposed to do. Of course he knows what he's supposed to do. Eat less food. Stop getting Taco Bell and Burger King every day. Then you would actually lose some weight. And then once we get to all of your expenses, you could get rid of all those medical expenses. Not all of them, but you can reduce the cost of those so that your monthly budget isn't so astronomical. But He's not going to do any of that. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Fix me, please. This isn't like 2700 where we have magical medicine that just, oh, snip, snap, you're healed. Any ailment you have, we fixed. That doesn't exist, Boogie. You have to actually put effort into your life if you want change. But you don't put effort into anything in your life, so why should we expect anything different?
Okay, let's go through my monthly bills for a second. My health insurance is $800. I have $500 worth of medical bills. I have $500 worth of utilities. I pay for doctor's visits, physical therapies, labs constantly. I still have to pay for the car that I drive. I still have to pay for car insurance. I still have to pay for health insurance. Diablo 4 came out. I had to buy it. Final Fantasy 16 came out. I had to buy it. Tears of the Kingdom came out. I had to buy it. That's $400 worth of video games right there. But if you take out all of it, you take it out. All I eat is sandwiches every day. All I do is sit here. I don't pay for any Netflix subscriptions. All I pay for is internet, utilities, medical bills, mortgage. If I pay for just that, I need $7,000 a month.
The crazy part is when this was in the trailer, I was like, there's no way this dude needs $7,000 a month to pay all of his necessities. And based off the numbers that he gave, it's true. If he cuts back on everything else, the medical bills alone are like $3,000 a month. And then you have a $2,000 mortgage. He spends like $800 on groceries, which is preposterous. It's ridiculous. And that's part of it. If he just tried to take care of his health, so much of his budget would be gained back. It's still ridiculous to have $7,000 monthly budget, but the dude could work on it if he really wanted to, but he won't. And it's ironic coming from him sitting in front of all of his shit in his room. He'll never be able to sell any of that stuff, but it's funny anyway.
I'm still not sure I'm like really here yet. I was lucky enough to get hit by lightning. I was lucky enough to get to live my dream. I was lucky enough to get to enjoy all of that, play this game the way I want to play it. I'll be gone one day too.
So I actually think the ending is pretty nice. It reminisces back to what Boogie was. And I think his speech at the end is pretty indicative of how most YouTubers' careers go if they're hyper successful. They'll be relevant for X years, and then after that, they sort of fade away into the ether. And you have to make the most of your moments when you have it. And it's sort of funny compounding that with the first clip, which is him waking up after doing his first mushrooms trip of psychedelics, and he thinks he solved the universe and thinks that, oh, I'm a new changed man now. I figured it all out. And it's like, you know, Boogie of course thinks that the very first therapy session that he does, it fixed him. He's perfect. He knows everything now. It's so stupid. At the end of the day, I think Mike Plum did a very good job for this documentary. I'm very impressed. I hope you guys are too. I'm sorry that I'm still groggy, and hopefully it'll get better. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
I learned as I got older was the fact that no matter how old you get, people just really don't stop being stupid. In fact, honestly, I'll make the statement right now. I think that the older you get, the stupider people get. We're all a product of our generation. You know, we're all a product of technology. You know, social media has created this idea that everyone needs to have a brand, right? I'm literally making a YouTube video right now. I mean, yes, I can make the argument that.
Is he biting Pinely style of video? I'm saying.
This is my job.
Pinely might be the most like bitten alpha creator and doesn't. In fact, I'm gonna go watch. Let's go watch Pinely.
So like I have to focus on my brand for my job, but at the same time, you know, it's kind of like a win-lose. I'm still playing into it, right? It's still a brand. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. And everyone.
Gotta stop everything. Hello. Como? I want everyone to say hi to you on camera. Webs. Como? Oh. Like it up there. I'm gonna get you liking it. That was Mo. Rocky.
One needs to admit it, okay? Everyone has a little bit of a brand, okay? So if I can sum it up in the simplest way, everyone wants to replicate and be replicated. But having a brand isn't inherently a bad thing, right? You know, unless you make your brand being the worst person on the planet. I found this guy on Instagram. His name is Drunk Justin. He's one of those guys. You're going to be able to tell right off the bat. He is truly just an asshole. I mean, I'm sure you've seen these like dating advice, alpha advice, you know, kind of guys. But this guy takes it to a level that is so sinister. I had to like triple check to make sure this wasn't satire. Really, I mean, this guy is out of a movie. I didn't think people like this existed. I should have expected them to, though. So let's take a look.
I feel like he's biting Pinely. I don't like that, man. Unless Pinely's biting someone else.
So yeah, I don't like this guy. Normally, I have a bigger problem saying things like that right off the bat, but this guy's crimes are pretty immediately proven. Looks like Justin is helping high-value men achieve a high-level dating life. If I had $1 for every time I read that, I would have at least 10. That's too much. I've always found the idea of like a high value male to be pretty funny because like at the end of the day, value is a subjective thing, right? You know, everyone has their own individual value or values that they hold. I mean, seriously, the fact that value is subjective actually blows this entire concept out of the water. I'm gonna introduce you to the very first video I ever found from this guy. This was actually the video that inspired me to tackle this topic. So let's just take a little browse here. Let's see what Justin's all about.
Know how many girls you fucked or no?
Yeah.
But you have
436.
436.
Yeah. Is it fucked up that I know the number? So like it might be more or less. There might be. So what happens is I do something where I daily journal every single day since 2013.
Okay.
So I have a lot of self-development habits.
Okay.
What the fuck? Sorry, what are we talking about right now? Yeah, so actually I've been with 436 women. Now let me show you my journal here. We can get into the details. I'm sure you guys don't mind me saying that this guy is a fucking loser. It goes without saying that this is the exact type of guy that would come after me for making a video like this. And I should just say right now that I don't care. Here's the visual check for you, Justin. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. And I'm sure the other thing you would roast me for is probably not having bitches. I have a fiance, which means I made up my goddamn mind. Fuck you.
I've done daily journaling every single day since 2013. Okay. However, I've been very, very busy this year. I don't have the time to daily journal, so I'll do like a weekly journal, like once every 3-4 days.
Right.
So every time I pipe a bunch of bitches, I just try to remember, like, how many women did I smash this week? How many Negroes I smashed this week? I kind of write it down.
I love the way he just talks so So every time I pipe a couple bitches, like, dude, shut the fuck up. I love that idea. I love the idea of him sitting down at the end of a week trying to be like, okay, so first one was Stephanie. I only spent 5 minutes with her. She didn't let me smash. Who's the one that almost called the cops on me? Brought a couple of boobies in here and we are done. You know, I will say this though. I could see an intimacy journal being a useful thing. I don't know. I could see it being applied to literally anything other than this. It just goes without saying, this guy sucks. All you needed to see was one clip of him to know, oh my God. Oh. He said he's so busy, right?
However, I've been very, very busy this year. I don't have the time to daily journal.
So what is he doing? According to his Instagram, he is specifically a dating coach and a VIP nightlife host. So only for VIP. God, dude, fuck. Obviously, he's got a course. This is the 4-step day game mastery system that helped thousands of men from 50+ countries attract.
Day game, most toxic fucking shit. If anyone's talking about day game, they are scum. They are disgusting. Stop day game. Not like I'm playing games right now. You know what I'm talking about. Day game. Just trying to pick up the ladies. We're in the super uncomfortable. Where you can really like trap people in situations that out of this. It's just okay, here's my number. If you're lucky. It's truly the refuge for the creepiest of the creepies. The game is for sociopaths. Perverts. Say no to day game. It's not the time or the place. I'm all about chatting it up. Like when it's appropriate. Out. At night, at a club, at a bar, party, and follow your interests and go to talk to people about them. Share your interests. Can't do that, then who am I to give advice? The most stay-at-home, constantly person. All I know is that day goes. Oh God, that's all I gotta say. Bye-bye.
High quality women and get laid in under 30 days. I'm gonna stop screaming for the rest of this video. Urgent message from the desk of Justin Mark. Hey bro, look, I'll be completely honest with you. I hate the marketing and the BS other dating gurus do so they can sell their life-changing products. They say that if you use their pickup lines, women will fall in your arms from the sky, which sounds like a cartoon if you ask me. This guy's funny. Do I look like a 6-foot+ tall model to you? No, but I still attract hot chicks like the magnet attracts steel. I just wanted to get some of his base material out there just so you guys could understand why I don't feel bad making fun of this guy. When I do these specific types of videos now, I try to be a lot more careful about who I pick just so that I'm not punching on someone who doesn't deserve it. And I'm going to show you more of why this man is deserving of criticism. But I'm not gonna lie, that one video kind of does it for me.
Imagine you work your ass off for 15 years, build an empire, and when you sign a piece of paper that's some fucking hoe, you get half your assets. What the fuck? That's retarded.
Whoa, man. All right. I'm not surprised that he described it that way. I mean, what do you think this guy knows anything about marriage or a successful relationship?
I mean, they make prenups too nowadays. Prenups don't help you. Bro, trust me. I see it every single day. I have client calls from dudes all over America, all over North America, all over Western society, England, Australia, Canada, the States, wherever. And these guys will have prenups. And ex-wife will fucking still take half their shit.
Yeah,
And the
because
kid.
that's how a prenup works. Oh my god. Oh my god.
To clarify, a prenup does not necessarily mean that both parties are going to split assets 50-50. A prenup or premarital agreement is a legally binding contract signed by a couple before marriage specifying how their assets, debts, and spousal support will be handled in the event of divorce or death. Meaning in this case, the prenups he's talking about can only have been a 50-50 split. So yeah, he just doesn't understand how anything works.
I totally understand the choice to not participate in traditional marriage. Trust me, it is very normal. I feel like he thinks that marriage ends in divorce like 100% of the time. He's also got this mindset of like, oh, I worked my ass off for 15 years and what, my ex-wife is supposed to just take that away from me? I think that he's under the impression that women don't work. This guy only surrounds himself with women that want his money. And I don't know if he understands that. While he obviously has success with women, I am confident that a vast percentage of those women only hang around him for money. Yeah, see, these women, they're actually smarter than you. They're fucking you over, dude. The crazy thing about this is that the guy only surrounds himself with women to have sex with them. He doesn't know how to interact with women in any other way, clearly.
Who's winning the Super Bowl tonight?
Holy shit, dude. He is such a tool. Look how awkward and dainty he looks holding that cigar.
Yeah, look, and now I'm gonna take a big hug. Yeah, come here and take
All right, let's see what else we can learn from Justin. Guys, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Fuck hoes, dude. Smash as many women as possible.
Yes.
Get as much experience as possible.
Yes.
Hook up with as many girls as possible.
Say it again, dude. Say it again.
I'm pretty honest with random bitches. Dude, I'll be the club. I'll tell girls I have 3 girlfriends. I'll be the club and I'll tell bitches from the get-go that I have multiple girlfriends. And it's almost like they respect honesty and they want to fuck me.
Yeah.
They can see there's like...
Oh, man. He kind of had me for a second with the honesty thing. You have 3 girlfriends? No way. Wait, you have 3 girlfriends? I'm pounding. Dude's got to have an STI. If he's really having all this sex, which quite honestly I don't doubt based on the video evidence, he's got to have an STD. Is it A, crabs, B, crabs, or C, AIDS?
But see, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I mean, it makes me like a chase because like I don't care.
Dude, it makes me such a chase, man. Bitches love it when you don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, seriously, guys. So, yeah. How happy can things like this truly make you, you know? I genuinely wonder. I don't doubt that this guy is happy in the present, but this just like emotionally is not a sustainable way to live in any way. From any angle. If you wanted any more proof that these women don't actually fuck with him, look at this video right here where he's in the club. Look, you can see all of these women around, right? Yeah, they're all dancing around, blah, blah, blah. Here's Justin over here partying by himself. Look, he's looking around. No one wants to party with him. He's like, give me the, look at that. He's like, guys, give me the phone, give me the phone. He doesn't want to be seen looking like a loser, which is kind of ironic. Because he does it every single time he posts. Watch this video. He starts off once again partying on his own. He's like, hey girls, talk to me, talk to me. They don't want to talk to him. See, that girl is turned away from him. In each of these clips that I've seen, it's him interacting. Hey guys, look at me. This feels like the TikTok Riz party. Here he is again, holding a stack of money on what I believe is a boat. People could not be less interested in him. It's sad to watch, right? Because the guy thinks that he has all of the power and attention and money and women in the world. And he does, but like I talked about before, it's only in a surrounding way. I don't feel like he's truly interacting with these people.
I'm not trying to be like racist or whatever, but like I'm not into certain types of women. Like I prefer, I just prefer white women. Even like I had I only dated Mexican women for 3 years. Okay, I don't get around. I'd pipe other women. But I only date certain women, right?
Wait, what races of women do you not like?
Oh, here we go.
Like right now, I pretty much only smash white chicks.
Okay, but who do you like not? Like you see that and you're like, ah, okay, that kind of
black girls. Even then, like if you
dude, stop talking. I knew he was gonna say it. I mean, just talk about the biggest cornball on the planet. All right, so what do we know about this guy so far? Doesn't really respect women, sex addict, probably racist. I mean, is the list going to continue? We also know that he wears this horrendously corny Louis Vuitton shirt. It's like a silk shirt. So gross.
All right, guys. This is gonna be one of the coolest things I've ever done. The other night, when I was sitting in bed, I was sitting in bed at like 3 in the morning, and I found this video on TikTok of like this little undersea submarine recording the bow of the Titanic wreck. Well, first of all, it got me thinking about OceanGate. You know, I just watched that for free, and I'm still alive. I think this topic is very relevant to what I'm talking about right now. And before you tell me I'm bullshitting, let me explain. I said this at the beginning of the video, but no matter who you meet, how old they are, when you meet them, everyone, in their own way, has a little tiny bit of stupidity. That's right, folks. I'm about to show you how we can draw comparisons between Drunk Justin and one of the most famous tragedies in all of history. When I came up with this idea, it was bullshit. I just thought it would be funny to read some facts that I learned about the Titanic, because these facts are funny. But then I found out it actually worked, because these people are so stupid. Listen to this. First of all, the first thing you need to know is that, did you guys know that the Titanic is 12,000 feet underwater? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it was that deep. Does that make me stupid? I believe that's about the size of 9 Empire State Buildings. I may be wrong about that. How did I know that fact? I'm so correct that there's literally a graphic showing that. You can't see it on there. I'm just gonna throw it on the screen. But there were some pretty rich and well-known individuals on that boat. So I guess their family members, they really needed to see that boat. Obviously, their first idea was to go for a little dive, and that wouldn't work because you can't swim that deep. And then, you know what they thought would work? They said, hey, you know what we should do? We should drop dynamite down there. How do you get dynamite down to 12,000 feet? Yeah, man, we'll just do a slow burn. We'll just, it'll slow burn on the way down, and Isn't that such a stupid idea? The reason they wanted to do that is because they wanted to release any potentially trapped bodies from the boat. But what if you just, like, blew up the bodies? In 1914, they had some ideas having to do with electromagnets, including just, like, getting down there with magnets and, pulling it up. In 1970, someone called for 180,000 tons of Vaseline to be pumped into the Titanic, which would allegedly lift it to the surface. This is all to say, should we be surprised by Justin's behavior? Absolutely not. Very similarly to the Titanic, Justin is a sinking ship. In fact, I don't even know why I'm doing this segment, because Justin strikes me as the type of guy who doesn't even think that the Titanic actually exists. Was this an excuse to talk about things that I learned about the Titanic? Yeah, pretty much.
Justin, what's the most loosest girl out of all races?
Bro, is that even a question, dude? We all know the answer. I don't want to say it. You guys are gonna call me a racist. I'm gonna get.
I don't know if I'm ready to see this again.
We all know the answer. I don't want to say it. You guys are gonna call me a racist. I'm gonna get canceled again. You guys know. Leave in the comments. You know what it is. What is it?
Oh yeah, we know. We know. Yeah, no, only racists know.
You guys are probably gonna call me a racist in the comments, but we all know, right? No.
You know, I'm already getting exhausted. John, you wanna take the wheel on this one for a little bit? You wanna just kind of like do the work for me? Stand right here and do your thing. Yeah, just go ahead.
Best way to get over your ex.
Best way to get over your ex? This is some old school advice.
I'm gonna guess. Smash baddies. You guys are probably gonna call me racist for that assumption. Don't do that. Can you blame me? It's all he's been talking about the entire video. Look, let's see. Come on.
Best way to get over your ex? This is some old school advice. You gotta pipe 10 other baddies. They can't be mid. It can't
pipe
be.
And send this to 10 other baddies right now. Share this video with 10 baddies and then pipe them. Actually, I'm kind of impressed that I got this specific terminology of baddies in there. Let me write that down real quick. Call them baddies.
It can't be mid. It can't be average. How can you be crying over your ex if you pipe 10 new girls?
How many girls you piped after your ex broke your heart?
Like 490 or something like that?
I mean, it just makes no sense. Oh, like 490. $490? Dude, there's only 365 days in a year. That means you, let's see, well, let me do the math on that. You would have to add an additional 2 to 3 women a day on top of the one that you've already had. That means on some days of the year, this guy was having sex with 4 women a day. That's just exhausting. I mean, by the time you get to number 4, you're just in pain, right?
Oh, God. Yeah, totally. Come over here and give Daddy a kiss, you thought.
I don't say that about people. That was the Justin character.
Passing the phone to the person with the most ribs.
All right, guys, I'm gonna pass the phone to Aiden Ross.
I'm passing the phone to 21 Savage. Phone to LaMelo Ball. Pass the phone to Drake. I'm gonna pass this to my biggest fan.
Hey, I'm just such a Drake fan.
What's up, bud? What are they doing hanging out with the speaker guy? I don't even want to know what that kid's doing there. I don't want to know it. Moving on.
Mistake most men make in their early 20s. This is the biggest mistake most men make.
All right, this is for me.
Early 20s. Is they'll date a girl for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
And they break up with that girl. And they have no idea how to socialize properly. Or pick up a new chick.
Yeah.
Right? That's the biggest mistake most men make. And they'll give up most of their 20s. Whether it's a year or 5.
I don't think that's a mistake. I think that's just going through a hard breakup. I think you're just an asshole. Once again, he doesn't get it. Because this guy has never been in a relationship for more than 2 seconds. My biggest problem with this guy is that he just continually preaches bullshit. He speaks about things that he has no right to be speaking on because he has no experience speaking on and experiencing the thing that he's speaking about. You gotta imagine it gets tired, right? Oh, you wanna know the worst part about this guy? I guarantee you the people that are actually fans of him are under the age of 18. In fact, under the age of 14. Because let me make something very clear. No one, and I mean no one, actually thinks this is cool. Sex is great, sex is fine, but not at the expense of being the worst person on the goddamn planet.
I did 300 million social media views in 3 months. It was driving me crazy that I would have to approach girls on the street and sell myself to them. And they think I'm just another random guy hitting on them when, you know, I've traveled the whole world, where I've been monumentally successful in business.
Sure.
So what I want to do is I want to start...
Right. But here's the thing, man. You're still a random guy. God, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He thinks that when he walks up to women, they should immediately recognize his wealth. And he's like, oh, I feel like such an asshole going up and approaching these women. Dude, it doesn't matter. You could go up to most women on the street in any city and say, hey, I'm super hot and I have $1 million. Want to come hang out on my yacht? You would get punched in the face.
I'd rather live a life where I'm happy and have freedom rather than be miserable and get paid a wage. Because like, I don't think it makes sense to make $50K a year and give them all your time, and now you don't have your free time to do things that you're actually passionate about.
I'm confused. Is he implying that he doesn't make money? He just talked about being happy and having free time. I'm just confused where the money comes in. Church from his bullshit courses, maybe some YouTube ad revenue. How much YouTube ad revenue is this guy making? Let's see. Oh, how to pick up white women in Toronto boot camp documentary. It's got the net Riz boot. I feel like I'm dying right now, man. Like, this just doesn't feel real. Okay, he's got 123,000 subs, and here are the views. Yeah. Okay, so there's no money here. Pulls pretty decent views on Reels. He's probably making a little bit of cash there. Yeah, he has a book. He has a course. I don't actually think this guy is very wealthy. And if he is, he's doing some dirty stuff behind the scenes, because I don't know. None of this is really adding up for me. Now let's take a scroll through this guy's Instagram, because I want to go all the way back and show you how he sort of started off. As you can see, it's just a bunch of face-tuned photos. Look, he looks like he's made of plastic in this. This doesn't even look real. This one's pretty ironic. He says in this post, it's better to see something once than to hear about it 1,000 times. That directly contradicts your entire career. I don't think I've gone 30 seconds in this entire hour of filming without hearing you say something about piping baddies. Dude, this is so creepy. Look at these photos of him. He looks unreal. Not unreal like handsome, okay? Don't get it twisted. Don't clip that. Make your girl wet like the time I almost drowned in the ocean in Australia. What? I don't even know where to start with that. Honestly, I was just gonna focus on the photo because it looks like he photoshopped a thumbs up into it. Maybe someone can look closer at that, but I'm pretty sure that's, I can't tell. Someone look closer. It's funny, in this post he says, Loyal Boy Summer starts this weekend. And then on this post a few months later, he says, cheat on your girlfriend, not on your diet. Nice, dude.
Dating a girl right now who's like devout Christian. I walked in the room the other day, and I swear to God, I walk in my room, and she's sitting there reading the Bible, and she's hot as fuck, tight waist, 105 pounds, beautiful face. And bro, I just shut the Bible, put the Bible down, threw her in the bed, ripped her clothes off, started fucking going at it, you know? But super hot chick.
What is any... see, I don't know enough of the context of this situation to even understand what happened there. Let her read her Bible. Sounds like she had no part in that.
Yeah, I pushed her down.
Christian girl, tight waist, 105. Shut up. All right, I can't take much more. Let's see what else he says about this.
But super hot chick, beautiful girl, very feminine, very sweet, you know, but it's almost like she's too vanilla. It's just not exciting. She's like a very wholesome, stable girl. The type of girl you want to knock up. Low body count. I'm like the third guy she's ever been with. Very wholesome, not a slut. Doesn't do spin the club 5.
I'm shocked. This dude is an absolute menace. Like I don't want to see. I don't want anything to do with him ever again after today. I don't know. That just makes me feel really bad for the women. It sounds like he's into really innocent. You know, not very. Let's just say maybe lights on, no one home. Very nice, very sweet. He's taking advantage of these girls. I think. I don't know, man. It just seems like a pretty miserable life to me. I don't see much happiness in this lifestyle, as much as he says it exists. It's dangerous, man. Once again, the type of stuff this guy is talking about, it's dangerous to put out on social media for young, impressionable people. And I really, really hope that the younger people in my audience see these videos and understand just how bad this stuff is. He asked me, the guy's pulling shit out of his ass. And he's eating. As much as I can do slightly good work with these videos, you know, no amount of this will ever solve the true issue, right? You know, people like this are just going to continue to pop up left and right. I'm done with Drunk Justin. This is the end. I cannot deal with him anymore, and I cannot think about it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and comment and subscribe. And in the comments today, let's talk about which race we think. No. That's for Drunk Justin. As usual, guys, I really enjoyed making this video for you, and I really like doing these one-off little deep dives on social media, people. So, unfortunately, that's all I have for you this time. But until next time, guys, okay, I'm making some upgrades right now. Look at this. I got a new light right here. Look how fucking bright it is. And hopefully that'll help with the glare. The audio should be fixed for the next video. I got a bunch of stuff that I'm setting up for that. You guys, goodbye.
Hey guys, don't skip this, okay? It's a disclaimer, okay? You're supposed to watch these. I just wanted to say the audio in my office is still a little weird because I'm still moving. So that's why it sounds a little echoey, but I promise I'm fixing it, okay? Watch the video.
All right, you guys saw the title of the video. You know what it's all about. Today, we're going to be talking about religion. Now, contrary to popular belief, contrary to the many videos that I've made about Christianity, I'm a really big fan of religion all around. Like, isn't it kind of cool that there's a religion where everyone in the world prays, you know, facing the same direction? Everyone. In fact, religion is fascinating, okay? If you look far back enough, you'll see just how influenced we as a people and as a society are by our religions. And don't get me wrong, what we're talking about today is rather fascinating. However, it's not fascinating like... Wow, look at that, huh? Over there. Isn't that beautiful? No, today the fascination that we'll be experiencing is my favorite type of fascination, and that is horrendous car crash that you can't look away from, even though it's actively changing the trajectory of your life forever. And you're probably wondering, Andy, didn't you just do a video about Christianity? You watched that Donald James Parker film. That was a good time, but why do we have to do it again? Well, guys, the real answer is that I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. Sorry, guys, that was my English to cat translator. But what you should know is that in cat, that means Rocket Money, the sponsor for today's video. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower your bills, and manage your money better. Let's say, for example, that John is subscribed to Netflix.
And John doesn't want to do that anymore.
Rocket Money safely and securely identifies recurring charges and cancels unwanted subscriptions for you. You can even cancel from within the app with just a couple of taps. Here's another situation. What if you just what if you got $1 million and you just started spending all of it? Well, with the ability to set budgets, you can analyze your spending habits to create a custom budget that works with your lifestyle and automatically monitor your spending by category and get notifications when you've exceeded your limits. Rocket Money has helped its customers save up to $740 a year with over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. So to save more and spend less, join the over 5 million users using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/Andy King or use the link in the description to get started for free. That's rocketmoney.com/Andy King.
Today on my brand new map of cringe, I've discovered a brand new specimen in Los Angeles, California, right over here.
She's known as Catherine Craig, or as she's better known on TikTok, Apostle Catherine.
Now, without me even saying the slightest bit about her,
I'm sure you can tell where this video is going. You guys remember that South African priest that we looked at who was healing people?
When a demon is faced with a person that is filled with the Holy Ghost.
What about Jay Bartlett, the guy who was exorcising people over TikTok Live? Well, he wasn't exorcising people, he was exorcising children.
Take a deep breath out there.
Apostle Catherine can best be compared to that first guy. I think his name was Steven, because their shtick is healing people within the church, while it's happening with cameras on them. Now, the first guy, he wasn't very energetic about things, It was almost comedic how much he didn't care about what he did.
The power of God is on display as a sign for those.
Oh, there he goes. Catherine, however, takes her job very seriously. Her job is Jesus. It's God. But what sets Catherine apart is that she is electric in everything she does. We're gonna take a quick look at her personality right now, just to kind of give you a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a
what is that? I'm tasting paprika, maybe a little smoked salt.
I don't know really why I did that.
It's important to realize that when it comes to thoughts and feelings, the devil many times influences them. And you actually have control over your thoughts and feelings.
Great, you just told me something I already know. I love when they do that, it's awesome. Look at her eyes, okay? We're gonna sit here for a second, I'm gonna keep zooming in on her, and you're just gonna keep looking at her eyes. Where is the life? These are the eyes of someone who has signed a deal with someone. I'm not gonna say the devil. I'm not gonna say the devil. I'll tell you what though, if someone is talking to me about the sins that I've committed, I do not want them to be talking about them with the 1,000-yard stare.
Like, come on, man, I haven't done that much bad stuff. It kind of makes me feel a little bad about it.
When I think Apostle Catherine, I just think of ice, cold ice. I don't really know how to describe it, but when I look at her, everything is so jagged, everything is so sharp. Everything wants to stab me.
If there's a thought and feeling there that you don't like to be there, you don't have to let it stay there. The Bible says, submit to God, resist the devil, and he must flee.
That's all I have to do when I'm having a panic attack?
Hey man, you better stop messing with me. You better stop messing with me or I'm gonna read the Bible to you.
John, are you a man of the Lord? I've never really asked you that before. You frequent the Gideon Bible?
This principle of resisting the devil and he must flee, this must happen.
Look at this happy little goober. Look who is so excited to praise the Lord today.
I mean, probably my best description of the way that she looks is like, when you're doing a creative character in a video game and you just want to see how chiseled you can make their face? That's Preacher Catherine.
I keep calling her Preacher Catherine. Her name is Apostle Catherine. Preacher Catherine, I think, just kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit more. Name change, please. So I know I went in pretty hard on her just now. I mean, this was one video of her talking about avoiding sin. I just needed to craft her personality for you real quick so you can see what we're about to get into. Because this objectively is pretty harmless, right? It's actually completely harmless. Some of the stuff she's saying, I'm like, I don't know if I agree with it, but she gets the pass on this one. So now I'm gonna take you guys on a little journey of some Apostle Catherine videos that I dug up, because now we're finally getting to my main point of the video. I don't really know how to put this, because from what it seems, from what I've found in her videos, Apostle Catherine is literally able to perform miracles. And I know you guys are thinking, oh, here he goes again, another commentary YouTuber making a stretch, making a big deal out of something that's nothing. You say that, but why did you watch this video?
I just want to see people free, and I want to bring revival to my church and my dad's ministry. My dad was an addict too.
drugs for 18 years. I was former homosexual 2 months ago, and God gave me a new heart.
All right, let's pause there. I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm not giggling at the kid who is actively in the process of having his sexuality converted, which is a very fucked up practice. Also, it just doesn't work. Okay? It's not how it works. So he says, I was a former homosexual 2 months ago, and God gave me a new heart. What is this, the fucking Wizard of Oz? Objectively, we're watching something super sad happen right now. I am not a big fan of what I'm watching. Why did I say not a big fan? I'm not a fan at all.
May God use you in power in your church. In Jesus' name, may revival spread.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's down. Well, okay. Hold on now. That's a little bit lackluster. So this feels very different than the way we've seen it in previous videos. That South African church, there was a lot more of an intensity to it. I mean, there were people screaming all over the church, people jumping up and down, a band playing, people having seizures. It was insane. In this one, we seem to have just this sea of people watching and clapping.
I declare this HIV gone from you now in Jesus' name. All this sickness gone from you completely now.
No. Well, you're seeing it here now, guys. You guys are the first people on the planet to see a priest heal someone of HIV. This is one of the most batshit things I have ever seen someone try to do with their divine power. When I saw this video at first, I thought this was a joke. I genuinely thought it was a goddamn joke. Do you know how sick and how sinister it is to go to someone who, I don't know if this person has HIV. Obviously, it would be even worse if she was just assuming that he had HIV because he was gay. This is sinister. To indoctrinate their mind with the idea that a divine power can cure an incurable disease, and it looks like the kid's believing it. This is where my big argument about this religion specifically comes in, and I feel like I haven't made my stance clear on this in videos before. I do not dislike Christianity as a whole. In fact, I think there are many branches of Christianity that are very positive, and yeah, there's no issues with them. However, there are a few branches that absolutely dominate the overall religion, and they are putrid in their practices. And this is coming from someone who grew up Catholic for many, many, many years. I feel like a lot of times people will come on to give commentary about Christianity, and they'll just give it a big bashing as a whole without actually, you know, knowing a lot about it. At the same time, I don't blame these people for feeling the way that they feel. This religion in many of its branches is very damaging, very hurtful. So it makes sense as to why so many people are adverse to Christianity in general, okay? You know, if I was seeing things like this, you know, and I was applying it to the whole religion, I would probably feel the same way. And that's the most serious I'll get in the whole video, okay? That's it. Back to this HIV thing. Let's see how the healing process is going.
I was also sick for 3 years of HIV, which has no cure. I am finally delivered. I went back to the medical place, and my dad was like, your results came out positive, but when we went to the lab, the lady told my dad, she said, no, sir, we got the results. That's what it meant by the results were positive. But when we looked at the calculating everything, she said, your son is clean, he has nothing, he's not sick.
I don't know what to say right now, genuinely. 3 cases of HIV being cured have been reported to date. All 3 involved men with HIV and either leukemia or lymphoma. The men received transplants of stem cells from adult donors to treat their cancers. Not prayers from God. Hey guys, I'm here to add in a little clarifier because I wanted to do a little research just to make sure that I was getting everything right about specifically this. There is an instance in which your levels are so low that even on a test, HIV cannot be detected in your bloodstream. However, it is still there. So that could be the case with this individual. I'm not counting that out at all. That being said, you still do have to medicate. You do still have to keep up with the things that help you prevent passing it on to other people. So that being said, I'm sure you can see why this is still very dangerous. Okay. It's hard, right? It's hard to see someone so young and so brainwashed. And I feel like it's arguably even harder to see someone in such a good position taking advantage of that. Fuck you, Apostle Catherine. I'm going in on you. Let's look at another one.
Where did you come from? Sweden. Yes, Sweden! And you too! Wow, welcome!
Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed this yet,
I'm gonna try mic on. Stuff to say, and I'll turn.
But I immediately did. There is a woman sleeping on the floor behind them. Look at this person sleeping, and tell me if you think they're sleeping. Is this someone who has been healed by God? Is this someone who is being saved? Why is this person here? Is it important to the video? Am I even asking valid questions right now? This is why we're here. This is why we're here. Now, sorry, that was just a little opening tangent. This video is the real kicker for me. Why? Watch this.
I'd like to just testify of something, how God used you to help me heal my son and deliver him from the spirit of autism.
No way! Oh my God! And the audience is swept to their feet. The spirit.
And you too! Wow, welcome!
Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed this yet, but I immediately did. There is a woman sleeping on the floor behind them. Look at this person sleeping, and tell me if you think they're sleeping. Is this someone who has been healed by God? Is this someone who is being saved? Why is this person here? Is it important to the video? Am I even asking valid questions right now? This is why we're here. This is why we're here. Now, sorry, that was just a little opening tangent. This video is the real kicker for me. Why? Watch this.
I'd like to just testify of something, how God used you to help me heal my son and deliver him from the spirit of autism.
No way! Oh my God! And the audience is swept to their feet. The spirit of autism be damned. Can you do me next? I hate to roll back my opinion so quickly like this, and I know I said this about the last one. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen a preacher do. Now, it's interesting how they're classifying this here, right? Before, HIV was a sickness. It was a disease that needed to be cured. However, autism has a spirit, which I find fascinating. Grant, can you just show everyone what the spirit of autism looks like real quick? I promise you won't get canceled. While this is one of the most fucked up things I've seen in my entire life, I also find it to be so unintentionally comedic. This is how you react when you find out that you've won a new car. This is not how you react when you find out that your son has been cured of autism. Sorry, not cured of autism, deliverance of the spirit of autism. I really got to dive into these comments here because I need to see what people are thinking about this so far. Someone named Joanne Crowe said, I received it. I haven't watched the full video, but are you saying you've received the spirit of autism? Was it delivered from her son to you? Oh, God bless you. This guy said, please, Apostle, pray for me. I have not wife. This guy just wants a wife, okay? If you can deliver autism away from someone, you can give this guy a wife, right? I would get more into this video, but I think we've seen all that we need to see from this one. Like, it's pretty insane, right? Let's give it a little bit more. I'm interested.
So you were watching the videos? Yes. I was watching this video that the Holy Spirit brought me to watch, where you deliver a young man, and I saw him being delivered of autism. And then the Holy Spirit led me to turn around to my son and just explain that sometimes we can also carry other spirits that do not belong in our bodies.
Oh, hell no. Hell fucking no, dude. So the son wasn't actually healed by Apostle Catherine. He was healed by an Apostle Catherine video. In fact, it seems like this woman was watching an Apostle Catherine video and then turned to her son, repeated what she heard in the video, and then he was cured. Let's give it up for that. Let's give it up for that. Yeah, I definitely am done with this video. I've seen enough. I've seen plenty. Graham, actually, I'm inviting you right now to insert yourself into this video. I want to hear your thoughts on this one real quick. Go ahead, man. I'll listen. I'll listen.
Thanks again for putting me in another video. It's always fun whenever I get to edit one of your videos. It's always loads of silly bits.
Yeah, that's great, man. Let's give it up for Graham. Let's give it up for Graham. That was a really good point. Okay, let's do a little research on Apostle Catherine here because I need to know more about her, right? I need to know everything there is to know about her. Now, she has a whole website, right? And if you go to the Her Story section, the first sentence is, Apostle Catherine was always hungering for more of God. Was she like a God of War character? Is she like a God killer? Looks like she wanted to be a Christian songwriter, but one day she had a religious breakthrough and decided decided that she needed to start a church. So she started a church in Los Angeles called the Fivefold Church. She does have this section called Miracles, though. It looks like it's just a bunch of videos of things that she's done to people. Oh, I need this one right here. Freed from caring what people think. Part 2. Jesus delivered him from caring what people said about him. Please do me next. Please. So you guys can see that this is just such bullshit. This is such a gimmick. It's a truly evil thing to do. I mean, it is okay to teach the word of the Lord. That's fine, but don't go around telling people that you can fucking cure HIV with it. That is quite literally going to get someone killed, and I'm not exaggerating. All right, so you guys aren't gonna believe this one because once again, I didn't either. These people, and I cannot make this up, are literally trying to pray their divorce away.
I detach you both from this now, and I break every curse on your lives and on your marriage. I break this curse. I break every word curse now. And I declare every spirit attached, every spirit of division, divorce, every spirit that came from these word curses must go now.
Yeah, okay, so you see how she's having that holy breakthrough and the room is dead silent? I don't think they care about this one, because you saw how those people reacted about the autism thing, okay? All right, this is divorce, not autism. Autism is a lot cooler than divorce. John, what do you think about autism? Don't worry, safe space, go ahead. Fuck you, man. I think this one's pretty funny, though. You know, like they're praying the divorce away, but I imagine the husband's like, God damn it. God damn it. This is just like a church of way too much passion for my liking. Do you think these people really believe what's going on? Like, or do you think that they're just going along with it for like the religious clout? You know, it's very Maury-esque to me. You know, if you added religion to Maury, this would be the Maury show. Anyway, I think it's time we get back into this now. No more time to waste because I got some more videos here and they're definitely disturbing.
I started going into psych wards about 2013. Diagnosed with schizophrenia.
God is delivering you right now.
Whoa. Yeah, that's how you know this writhing is about to get rather violent. Let's take a look.
I break every generational curse, and I declare every spirit attached. Every spirit.
I want to get back to what she's saying, but I love the person that just casually threw the blanket over her. That was so charming.
1, 2, 3.
Whoa, that was quite the scream. I hope you're healed. I wish I would have known that all you have to do to get the sin out of you is count to 3. You know, that's what I always find so funny about these things is I feel like there is an extent to it where it's like you could make this seem legit, but then they always manage to throw in a little phrase or a little activity that's just like, oh, okay, this is bullshit. You know how they always talk about actors in movies where it's like, I can't take them seriously because this person looks like they know what an iPhone is? Well, yeah, they literally do that here. I didn't point it out at the beginning, but when she's starting to shake, she's like, yes, we're gonna get the spirits out of you. It's gonna be amazing. Oh, let me just grab your iPhone real quick. There you go.
Thank you, Jesus. Let me hold this for you, hon.
Yeah. Yeah, let it out. It's all right. It's all good.
Enough.
No. Even Apostle Catherine has had enough with the antics. You think that was like the breaking point moment in her career? Like, did she get the ick from that moment just now? Okay. God. Okay, stop, please. God would never hang out with you. He would think you're a loser.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
What is with this childlike excitement? They like go through this super intense exorcism, like, enough. God is commanding you out. And then they're like, yeah. That is one of the parts of this that is truly maniacal to me. You know, that should tip you off that something not okay is going on behind the scenes. Actually, guys, speaking of behind the scenes, I've been wondering how much money Apostle Catherine probably makes, and I'm getting a call right now from the banker. Banker, how much do you think Apostle Catherine makes? Wow. That's a lot of money. One thing I'm also loving about all this is people literally begging for help in the comments. Mary just says, please help me. This woman gets it. Oh my God, did you really just convince this woman to stop taking her psych meds? You're pure evil. Thank you. It's good to know that there are some people out here that are picking up on this. And I meant to say this at the beginning, but an overwhelming majority of these comments
are just completely agreeing with her. Jesus is the best doctor. By his blood, we are healed. It's like really funny, right? Like objectively, what we are watching here is very funny content. But as I've said before, it's also very sad. It is sad that these people are being brainwashed into believing that this woman, by some divine power, is curing them of their, mind you, incurable diseases. What's also so sad to me is just the amount of belief in this in general. I'm not even just talking about the massive crowds of people in the rooms. I'm even just talking about the people in the comments. It just sucks because the reason that faith-based philanthropy works in the first place is because of faith. And faith is a really hard concept to touch on because while it can be a very positive thing for a lot of people, it can also be weaponized just as much. Like I said before, I rarely practice any type of religion anymore, but from what I do know about Christianity, this is kind of one of the biggest crimes, right? Anyway, I want to take a look at a few more here. Can we do that? And can we have some fun? John? You know, he's giving me a little attitude today. I don't know if I love it. Okay, so we got a couple things going on here. Not really sure where to start. This first shot is just really confusing. I didn't know where the noise was coming from. I did assume that it was the person who looked like they were trying to take a shit on the floor. It would seem though that she's waiting her turn in line to be anointed or whatever is happening here. I find the concept of that to be so fun. My child, I will heal you. My child, I will... Hey, can you just stop? Can you wait your turn? Stop writhing. God, what is going on here? You guys see the guy with the sailor hat in the background? Dude, I don't think she can look at you. It looks like she's trying to take a shit and pop her eyes out at the same time. That's what I hate about this, okay? Like, let's say it was real. If I'm on the brink of shitting myself and you can't even see my pupils, why are you asking me to stand up and pay attention? Like, can you just get to the saving part? Clearly she's in pain. Dumb. Why is this just like the default demon stance, right? You know what I mean? I feel like every time you watch one of these videos, it's always someone being like, I can't wait to see what environment you put me in there. It's like if demons are really that powerful and terrifying, shouldn't they be doing, I don't know, like maybe cooler stuff? No, I guess demons just, their whole purpose is just to entirely disable people. That's awesome. You know, I'm kind of just in a place where it's like, are you evil or are you just in pain? Like, you got to make up your mind. You know, not to be a hater on the process, but I mean, I've just been sitting here for the past at least 25 seconds watching this woman writhe on the floor. And if anything, it only looks like she's on the path to dying. Her movements are getting slower and slower, and it looks like she's taking her final breaths right now. Okay, so I just watched the end. I want to show you guys that part on the big screen. She writhes on the floor for about 2.5 minutes. Okay, we're 2 minutes 44 seconds into this video, and then she just gets up at the end, and they're like, "Yes, praise God, praise God!" Ah! I swear, guys, this is like my favorite genre of video ever. This is awesome. All right, guys, I want to take a look at one more video. We just want to check in on Graham real quick, make sure he's doing okay. Graham, you all right, buddy? Let's see. Oh man. No, yeah, he's not looking too good. We gotta wrap things up pretty soon here. I'm sorry, man. Oh, okay. I just watched the first few seconds of this next one because I couldn't remember what it was. You guys are gonna hate this one. Also, if you guys don't like gagging sounds or anything, she's literally about to throw up a demon. They don't show it, but it's about to happen.
Can't go to the nation. She can't. She will go to the nation. Go now in Jesus' name. Thank you, Jesus.
Literally, she's just watching this poor woman vomit on the ground in front of her. She just goes,
Thank you, Jesus.
I kind of want to just do a little click through of her page to wrap things up here. I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Let's look at this one. Delivered and completely transformed.
Thank you, Jesus.
And all the demons started coming out, and nobody knew how to handle it. God told me to don't do anything, just to come here and to tell you to renounce it.
Okay, so look, you're not gonna believe this, but God told me. He said specifically, God himself. He said, go to 5F Church in Los Angeles. Like, come on, guys. Like, you know, we really got to get it together here.
Please, I did not have the spirit of promiscuity, spirit of eating disorder. I did not have the spirit of depression.
You know, if only it was that easy, right? If only I could be like, I denounce depression. I denounce anxiety. I denounce maybe wanting to be like a couple
love to live in this way because you know what? I think as ridiculous and as harmful as it can be to people's mindsets, how awesome would it be to just be able to live under the impression that God heals everything wrong with you? You would probably die pretty quickly in life, but you'd be pretty happy. You know the saying, like, to be cringe is to be free? That kind of seems like this branch of Christianity, if you ask me. There's so many questions. Like, of course, I have the same questions every time I watch these videos, but I'm like, how do you not go? Like, as a person who practices in this branch of Christianity, how do you not go to, like, 5 sessions and say, hold on a second, which it kind of goes back to the thing that I was saying about, like, I wish I could live this way, right? I wish I could live in such ignorance that nothing else mattered to me. Like, I could say, do anything I want, and I just, like, didn't care. Imagine how it would feel to not give a shit about anything. I'm just torturing myself at this point. I'm gonna see if I can find one more Apostle Catherine video to really tie things up here.
Every spirit that came from worshiping Hindu gods, I declare on 3.
Sorry. Is she trying to pray Hinduism out of someone? Because that's what I'm getting so far. And it looks like it might be working. I don't know what's happening, but she is shaking a lot. Look, she goes into this like, praise God. Look at this.
Praise God.
Like, why does she always start crying? Why is that like her one way of trying to show empathy? Oh God, praise God. Oh, he has done it again. I don't know if I would believe her.
Praise God.
Look at it. Did you see how she opened her mouth just now? Like, oh my God. Graham, please tell me you see that. That is so good. Like, look at this. When you put it up here, it looks like she's gonna fucking all in all, I think this is all I can really talk about with Apostle Catherine today. The rabbit hole goes just about as deep as you would expect it to. And I mean, it is deep, but it just keeps going. What do you guys want to see Catherine do next? That's what I want you guys to talk about in the comments. What do we think Catherine's gonna do after this video? Now, what do you Stop asking God questions. It's gonna start to look a little bit insane. My favorite thing about people like these is that they never get old to cover. You know, I love making fun of these people. And it's because, interestingly enough, they all bring so much of their own weird and bizarre personality to it. I will say, to tie all of this together, I'm genuinely terrified of Apostle Catherine. Like, she actually scares me. She reminds me of the Nun, you know, from like the Nun movies. And I guess at this point, so that I don't have to terrorize you guys any longer, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and comment and, like, I don't know, just leave a kiss. Leave a kiss for once. I took a look back at some of the old videos covering TikTok subjects that I used to do, and I forgot how much I enjoyed doing them. And I don't know, I felt really called to do this topic. You know, I like doing these videos when I feel like there's actually legitimate stuff to talk about, and, you know, I don't like to feel like I'm just pulling at straws for content. This was fucking content. This was raw and organic. That being said, that is all I have for you guys this time, but until next time, all right. What do we think? Be honest. I got one of these glow sticks, right? For the living room. I wanted to bring it in here to film just to show you guys. If you guys like that, I'm gonna get another one and put it back there. But if you like the lamp more, then I'll keep the lamp. It's almost done. Not really. I have a lot more stuff to hang up. Okay. Anyway, you guys don't care. Bye.
Simple says it's okay for men to leer at women in public. They're just trying to figure out if women around them are sufficiently fertile. Douglas Murray is yet another one of these like classic, unimaginably right-wing, unimaginably racist British charlatans that basically revitalized their career post October 7 by just unconditionally dick riding Israel. Anti-Zionism versus anti-Semitism is, I heard that this is like low quality, this lecture. I think it's pretty crazy that they have, on the one hand, they have literally Douglas Murray, who is a psychopathic right-wing propagandist from England, versus Mehdi Hassan, who is like a pretty solid journalist, and Gideon Levy. Like, this is so cooked. Who's the other person? I don't even know who the other person is.
Don't change your mind. Let's see those results.
It's like if someone started a war on American soil and said anyone flying the American flag is an asset of the government and a legitimate target. This tweet sums up the debate. Shocking to hear that the audience who booed Oxfam and shouted anti-Semite as Mehdi talked about Doctors Without Borders thought Douglas Murray won the debate.
HCR, UNICEF, Doctors Without Borders, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Oxfam, Christian Aid. Yep, you're booing. What does it come to when you're booing Oxfam? What does that tell you about yourselves? You're sitting here booing Oxfam to defend Benjamin Netanyahu. Let me just deal with something you just said. You talked about debunking propaganda. First of all, you can't even get Israeli propaganda straight. The Israeli government's own security agency, Shin Bet, investigated what you just said and said, no, we found no evidence that workers from Gaza were involved in the October 7th attack. Oh, Shin Bet alive. They're booing Shin Bet, the Israeli security service. Got it. All right, let me finish my point. You had a 5-minute speech from your side. Okay. That's Shin Bet. Let me just deal with your wider point here. Douglas and Natasha tonight want to make this entire debate about October 7th. I get it. It's a horror show. But that's not the debate. The debate was about Zionism, and it tells you a lot that they can't find any arguments to say, as Gideon says, why we can't be allowed to criticize a political ideology that is 150 years old, that many Jewish people have criticized from the beginning and continue to do so. They can't tell you why that is. So they focus on October the 7th, which is fine, but if you're going to focus on October 7th, then also focus on what happened since October the 7th, the erasure of Palestinians in this debate, the booing when Gideon mentioned what happened to Palestinians. Shameful. I'm sorry to say it's absolutely shameful and telling about what's going on. And I would say this, if we're going to talk about October 7th...
61% of the crowd before the debate started thought anti-Zionism was anti-Semitism. At the end, somehow 66% agrees. So it does. That's awesome.
And then what happened since? Everyone's a liar. The Hamas Health Ministry is like, everyone's a liar. Okay. Friend of mine, American doctor, goes to Gaza. Many doctors have gone to Gaza. You've seen them on the news. They're all liars, all Hamas. Friend of mine went to Gaza. He's been to Sudan. He doesn't just use it for whataboutism like Douglas. He's been to Sudan. He's been to Afghanistan. He's worked there. He came back from Gaza and said, I've never seen atrocities like I've seen here. What's happened to children? He's an anti-Semite because he saw children with burn wounds like he's never seen. He saw children with gunshot wounds to their head. To their head. But that's Hamas' fault. Everything is Hamas' fault. So let's talk about war crimes. It is amazing that every human rights group in the world, including Israeli human rights groups like B'Tselem, Gisha, Yeshbin, are all documenting this stuff, but you guys think it's all imaginary. So again, it tells you about what Zionism is. This is not about some abstract ideology of, people trying to settle the land and trying to have it. But as Gideon said, there was an argument to be had in the 1940s, 30s, 20s. Zionism today is what the Palestinians are enduring on a daily, nightly basis in Gaza, in the West Bank, in East Jerusalem, in Israel itself. And the erasure of that tells you everything about why we need to be able to talk about what Zionism does to the Palestinians without being smeared as anti-Semites.
Bro's rattling off so many names and they're just like, Pago, you're wrong. At a certain point, you can't win an argument like this. You just have to accept that you're on the correct side and they're not. No, I think it's good, though, to like, what is this? I see you got nicely humiliated by Douglas K. Murray last night in Toronto at the Monk debate. It couldn't have possibly happened to someone more deserving. Yeah, this is Hugbox shit, dude. This is people just like trying to do a victory parade, trying to do a victory lap when you're just huffing on unimaginable amounts of copium, when like the rest of the world, dude. This is what you do. This is dying empire shit. This is what you do when you're like losing the argument everywhere else. You try to find a
Russian
place where you are winning. You know what I mean? You just like get together a bunch of people who agree with you, and then you go, see, all these people that agree with me. It's like, all right, yeah, we've seen this before. I'm sure if I were to watch this debate, I would have a much different opinion on the matter.
Up on the screen now, 77% that you could considerably change your mind depending on what you hear. 23% no. So this debate is very much in play as we begin, and that's what we're going to do right now with opening statements. Douglas Murray, you're up first. 6 minutes on the clock.
Well, thank you very much, Roger. It's a great pleasure to be back.
I want to see if we can hear my cat. louder? It sounds so loud next to me. I want the mic to pick it up.
The among debates. When I was last here a couple of years ago, I just returned from the front line of the war in Ukraine, where I was with the Ukrainian armed forces. And for most of the last 8 months, I've been in Israel and Gaza, following the war there as closely as I can. And I won't go into all the details now that I could give you of what's happening. But I would just put it in perspective in this way, first of all. What happened on the 7th of October was not just a massive attack on...
Douglas Murray is yet another one of these, like, classic, unimaginably right-wing, unimaginably racist British charlatans that basically revitalized their career post-October 7 by just unconditionally dick-riding Israel. Like, there are many such cases of this. Like, a lot of people are like at least somewhat cognizant of Israel's actions. No, this isn't the bell curve guy. He's named after the same. No, that's Charles Murray. But I always make that mistake as well. He's just like a massive, raging Islamophobe. And the thing is, both are racist, by the way. Charles Murray, bell curve, obviously super racist. But Douglas Murray was one of those dudes who just like didn't really have like a massive footprint. I only know about it because I know all these like weirdos, even in England, because like, you know, I love these fascinating pets. But the thing is, like, he's gotten a lot more prominence because Israel doesn't really have a lot of at least like cool-headed propagandists that they can deploy, especially as the situation worsens, especially as they become increasingly more violent, increasingly more brutal. Douglas Murray and like Divorcelli are some of the remaining loyal soldiers, basically. So if you're in a dire situation when it comes to propaganda, and there is mass mobilization occurring against your ethnic cleansing campaign, you're going to rely on whoever the will do any kind of propaganda at your behest.
Innocent people inside Israel. It was the equivalent to about 6,000 Canadians being massacred and burned to their homes in one day. It's the equivalent to about 1,500 of your fellow Canadians being taken hostage. You would have thought after an attack like the one Hamas instigated that started this terrible war, you would have thought that there would be some sympathy for the world, from the world. You would have thought...
No, the bell curve is a math thing. The bell curve book that Charles Murray wrote is scientific racism, claiming that, like, black people just have lower IQ. I don't want to get into that right now. That's like a totally separate subject. Loner Box at this point too, the guy's cozying up to D far too much. I think he's, you know, he's been a friend of Destiny's for quite a while. I'm just more so shocked because he was like pretty level-headed about Israel in the past. Anyway, I haven't been keeping up with him, so I don't know.
World would pay attention to the attack and at least pay attention to the people behind it. You might have expected, like me, that there might have been a worldwide opposition to the terrorists and rapists and murderers of Hamas. You might have thought there would be hatred around the world erupting at the government of...
The only thing Lonerbox does these days is make content about you? Really? I didn't even know he was... Is he? The kind of content could he be making about me in terms of like my recent commentary on Israel? Unless he's like, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, is it annoying deorbiter that all he's ever say is you suck on Russia and are wrong about JDAMs and shit? Okay. I mean, that's odd, but he makes a lot of content about your coverage. He hedges your side and gives cover for Israel. Ultimately, he's careful with his analysis. He had an entire hour on why you're anti-Semitic. Wait, what? No, he didn't. He did an entire hour on why I'm anti-Semitic. He does shit like this. Should I react to this when I get home? Yeah, he should react to this when he gets home. He's just farming the Destiny community. As far as I understand. How do you go from calling Israel an apartheid state a year ago to mocking people who think Israel is bad? Yeah, this is like what's crazy. Didn't he literally used to? I mean, I thought he was like, he was saying Israel's an apartheid. He did videos on how Israel's an apartheid. Are Hassan and his fans okay? Owen Joe stuns loner box with bizarre analysis. Yeah, I mean, look, Hassan freaks out on peers after weirdest pro-Palestine. Yeah, I mean, there you go. He's just, yeah, that's sad. He's just another. He's just another content creator, I think, that is just farming Destiny's audience to varying success. It seems like he did the classic, like Hassan and his fans are really mad about Hassan drinking Coca-Cola, and then even went so far as to say Hassan freaks out on peers after weirdest pro-Palestine video, which objectively was like absolutely eviscerated by the court of public opinion. No, he's very pro-Palestine and his community is too. That's what I thought too. I'm genuinely shocked. Like I've mentioned before, Lonerbox showed me Beast Process, who is a phenomenal content creator, a smaller content creator in general. Like that's where I divorce. Both substance. There's a kick stream later to be banned for number 2. Right-wing transphobe. Yeah, the Hassan is a grifter pipeline is crazy. Anyway, whatever. Who cares?
Qatar and its mouthpiece, Al Jazeera, its funding of Hamas and its hosting of the leadership of Hamas in Qatar. You might have thought there'd have been an outpouring of rage at the Islamic Revolutionary government in Tehran, but no. There was an immediate outpouring of rage against the state that had been attacked. Bring back our girls, we had 10 years ago in the war in northern Nigeria, which I also covered. Bring back our girls. No international campaign saying bring back our Jewish children. Believe all women, we've been told for years. But turns out...
Wait, I don't think Douglas Murray was a big advocate for Me Too, bro. What? He's like a super right-wing guy. Let's see. Death Heard trial marks the end of the Me Too era. The groupthink tyranny of woke. Douglas Murray. Divided by a race, gender, sexual orientation. Sounds like a bigoted society. Yeah, this guy's not pro Me Too. What are we talking about? Douglas Murray challenges wokeness, identity positive groupthings in his new book, The Madness of the Crowds, Gender, Race, and Identity. My man said Me Too only when Israel has declared that there is mass rape happening at the hands of Hamas on October 7th. Yeah, also, he literally, yeah, I forgot about this. Douglas Murray in Australia. Douglas Murray is arguably the most impressive current advocate globally for Israel and its conflict with Hamas. Australian Academic Alliance Against Anti-Semitism wrote this. It is now a good time to talk about Jews and money. Article by Douglas Murray. That's so funny. He's like, he's like said anti-Semitic shit in the past too. He's a classic right-wing guy in the UK.
In the Gaza war, people of largely Muslim faith are being bombed, starved, and driven from their homes. And unsurprisingly, that means it's brought a lot of extreme Islamophobes out of the woodwork. This is Douglas Murray speaking to US talking head Dave Rubin. These are enemies within. We have our own ones in Britain.
What is this? He says there's 70% of Jewish people are Zionists, therefore anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, but more nuanced. I think you could have a genuine conversation if we were open to it. A genuine conversation with who? With Lonerbox? He doesn't like the word genocide? What the f does that mean? Lonerbox probably one deal over you could have a decent conversation with and not be contentious with content farming. He's pro-Palestine, especially West Bank, but definitely disagrees on some things, but he still says it's apartheid. Basically, he doesn't like the word genocide. I mean, at a certain point, you have to look at like the collection of thoughts and opinions that a person is presenting. I say this all the time, right? Like, I don't cover people who are ostensibly on my side, even when they are like being annoying and calling me a drifter. By design. For years and years, I was like, no matter how uncharitable or shitty people were towards me, I chose not to cover them specifically because I was like, I don't really give a shit, okay? partially because there are worse enemies out there, way worse villains out there to hyper focus on, rather than some dude who's like otherwise, you know, pro LGBT, blah 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 blah, you know, like a pro civil liberties for marginalized people, pro emancipation. They don't have to subscribe to my entire worldview because there are people out there with big platforms who are completely
almost
against
had me chase them
everything I
down into the
stand for,
pits of
like
hell.
the Ben Shapiro's of the world, like the Jordan Petersons of the world, like the Steven Crowders of the world, like the Matt Walshes of the world. I feel like that is a more productive use of my time rather than like hyper focusing on certain key differences in agreement that we have on issues. Now, there's a difference between someone who has openly called Israel being an apartheid and someone who says that that's not real. That's just a buzzword, right? And the reason why I don't really.
Check. It's still picking up my headphones. No, I don't like that. You got anything to say, Kitty? my God, you're sweet. Oh my God, you're so sweet. Hey, Cash Man, what's up? Doing, kitty?
Nothing cleans like burning.
Friendlies capturing Zone A. Friendlies going for Zone B. Capture zone contested. Capture zone secured. We hold all capture zones. Good work, Agent.
Revealing enemies!
I'm detecting hostiles on Zone C. Capture Zone A is at risk. Hostiles on the scope in Zone B.
shit about Loner Box in general is because like I maybe falsely or mistakenly
Rogue
assumed
Echelon
that he
agent
was
activated sonar goggles.
someone who calls what Israel is doing to be genocidal, and therefore has done coverage on the issue that is like relatively truthful. Now, having said that, the reason why I still don't care enough about tackling his perspective and making videos about him is because, like I said, it is about the collection of opinions that you have and the side that you present on certain things. Now, this is exactly, I'm going to turn this around for a second. If you see someone who appears to be progressive, appears to be on the left, but is constantly hitting left, constantly going after people like myself, claiming that I am, you know, too pro-Houthi, or maybe even an Islamist fundamentalist, or things of that nature. When someone is like focusing on that while there's an active ethnic cleansing campaign happening, okay, that immediately shows me that maybe you're not super serious about like covering these broader issues.
This is a rough op.
Okay?
But you're a pro.
That's it.
You'll bounce back.
That is the way I look at this stuff. The way I look at this stuff is like if I see you hyper focusing not on the likes of Ben Shapiro, not on the likes of I don't know, those who are like actively and consciously defending Israel's genocidal ambition. If I see you cozying up to people doing that sort of thing, if I see you maybe even traveling to Israel
should be familiar
with people who have openly stated that you know, Israel should do a genocide, and then worked off of that original sentiment to try to find like quick pithy talking points that justify their positions, then it's like kind of it's weird. It's still not enough for me to talk about it and cover it and make videos about it or whatever, but it does show me that like you're not really interested in the causes that you claim to care about. For example, let's say someone is pro-trans. This community is very pro-trans. We all know there are a shit ton of other pro-trans people, trans content creators, trans people themselves online on Twitter that sometimes chirp and maybe don't put their best foot forward. We know the reasons for why that happens, and that's fine. So if you were to make an assessment on whether someone is a pro-trans content creator or not, you can potentially look at the broader scope of their coverage. Are they constantly attacking anti-trans content creators, or are they claiming to be pro-trans while simultaneously shitting on trans people, almost always hyperfixating on other content creators who are pro-trans but maybe not sufficiently pro-trans? Does that make sense? That's what I look at. I look at who someone's enemies are, who they are positioning themselves against, to get a better understanding of like what their genuine worldview looks like, what they actually care about. I show you every day who I am against. I show you every day what positions I am against. I show you every day with my coverage. I show you every day with who I am criticizing, who I'm choosing to criticize. There's a million different people. I can have a disagreement with a shit ton of people. There's a reason why you see the broadest scope of my haters run the gamut of the pipeline meme that you were showing. People who like will defend the arbitrary nature of age of consent laws and how they should be abolished or whatever, or how it's actually not pedophilia but ephebophilia, or you know, Nazis of different varieties. That's it. A lot of content creators on YouTube just like to do the holy, then the other slash thing. Right. Anyway, like, I'll give you a great example. There has never been a single moment. There has never been a single moment where I have allowed any kind of anti-Semitic sentiment to exist in this community. There have been plenty of people throughout the past 9 months that have come in and be like, yeah, see, we were right about the Jews. We banned them, right? Immediately. There has never been a moment where I'm like, hold on, let me listen to what this guy has to say, when they're like a very clearly Nazi account that is now pumping out anti-Israel information or whatever. Like, I have actually spent time showing people who those grifters are and what their genuine opinions are. I I don't just cozy up to fascists specifically because they ostensibly are on my side on the issue of Israel, because they're not. Because I understand that they're not. I understand that they're
This'll be a fun report to write.
Simply utilizing Israel as a way to simply utilizing Israel as a way to just do anti-Semitism. The higher order here is anti-Semitism. That's simply just business when you're an online content creator. If Hassan was more open to more smaller content creators, then D-Man would not sit on this many orbiters. This is Hassan's own fault. 24-month subscriber. How come? Be honest here. Are Hassan good at gathering orbiters himself? Where do these small leftist content creators go to? You have no idea how to grow online. Remember, Hassan was once an orbiter. Not really someone we see much of. And Hassan has been going on for years on here. If all that's you can mention, that's still really bad. This guy mentions a bunch of content creators who are not orbiters, by the way. They're fully fledged content creators in their own right. That is insane. Your demand is that I literally collect smaller content creators like Pokemon so I can create an entire community of dick rider content creators? That's psychopathic. I know but he keeps a closed group of orbiters to the point of heavy gatekeeping. No, man, you sound unhinged. I treat people like they're human beings and not look at it from the perspective of having a harem of yes men who are going to abide by all of my wishes and attack my enemies and defend me unconditionally. What the Also, there's a shit ton of content creators that I collaborate with that are either around my size or maybe a little bit smaller than me or even larger than me. But you don't even consider that to be a thing because you are looking at content creators not as human beings, but simply as literally a number. How many subscribers they have, or that will show whether or not they are valuable as allies or not. Israeli, when I first came in here and said some things regarding my being Israeli, I saw some anti-Semitic comments directed towards me getting deleted from the chat, stuff like we're outside your house and shit like that, so thanks. Yeah, of course. That's crazy. Hassan is not carefully conducted. You aren't understanding what he's saying. Your entire behavior is weird, bud. Way to misunderstand what I'm saying. Yes, I am, but they're still doing this in many ways as a business. It's literally a job for most of them. I don't know why you're so understanding of people's people just losing sight of their own personal individual convictions and just simply are doing it for a bag.
Occupy.
And then simultaneously saying, why don't you create that for yourself? I feel like that's weird as I literally stopped naming them without the thought anything. So that's all I can name. You can do so many collabs with people who don't necessarily count your size. So they're not a small audience, but a larger audience. What do you want them to do? Yeah. I don't have orbiters because I have friends, I have allies, I have people who share some of my opinions, maybe not all, and they're all wonderful people, and I routinely collaborate with them, and I routinely hype them up. Ultimately, it's ridiculous to be like, yeah, you have to defend me. I have to just pick smaller content creators specifically so they will unconditionally defend me. It's a major criticism that I have of other content creators who do stuff like that. Just develop a weird sycophantic orbit of content creators who are just suckling on their teeth and maybe even changing their worldview seemingly as a consequence of that. It's weird, dude. These are human beings with their own personal convictions, their own dreams, their own opinions, their own attitude. I think it's very weird to reduce them to what they can do for me. Am I a villain?
You got this.
I need to have my own legion.
Capture zone is moving.
Not if the raped women are Jews. Israel is the only country in the world
really coming out of the
woodwork. Gets attacked more. You know, the interesting thing about anti-Semitism is, as my late friend Jonathan Sachs said, it's a shape-shifting virus. Moves across the centuries. When you could hate people for their religion, the Jews were hated for their religion. Then you couldn't hate people for that anymore, so people hated the Jews for their race. And then after the 20th century, people realized that.
We're locking down the zone.
Douglas Murray, a profoundly Islamophobic person, saying you can no longer hate people for their religion anymore. What do you mean? You have a career built on shitting on Muslims. What are you talking about? You still very much can shit on religion.
That wasn't such a great idea either. Now, the Jews are hated not for their religion or their race, but for having a state.
Capture zone is moving. Sending new locations. You're off that now. Zone under assault. Capture zone
Israelis
contested.
are attacked when they have hostages taken, and this is to remember the 100 hostages still in captivity in Gaza, who, if they were given back by Hamas today, the war would be over. And they're also attacked when they rescue their hostages. You know, the interesting thing about anti-Semitism is the Jews can never win. Because historically they've been hated for being rich and for being poor. They've been hated for integrating and for not integrating. They were hated for being stateless. Remember, rootless cosmopolitans, the far right used to say. Now they're hated for having a state. They,
Bro, you are the far right. That's so funny. Brother, what do you mean the far right used to say? You are the far right.
The only really acceptable form of anti-Semitism, aside from the sins of the far right, the only real tolerated form of anti-Semitism is anti-Zionism. Zionism, as you just heard, is simply to set the right of the Jews to self-determination in their historic homeland. That's all. Anti-Semitism, as we've also just heard, is double standards against Jewish people or cruel and unfair treatment of people because they're Jews. This isn't very far away from home here. If this isn't anti-Semitism, can the audience here tell me why the following things have happened since October 7th?
Allies on the zone.
Why in a Montreal suburb a synagogue should be
Capture zone
firebombed,
contested.
as happened in November? Why there should have been gunshots against the yeshiva? Why in Toronto?
Great question. It's because Israel packages all of its actions and masquerades as the defender of Judaism, and people are too stupid to parse through the propaganda and come to their own conclusion that Israel does not represent the Jews. You, Douglas Murray, are going to definitely, in this conversation, bring up on multiple occasions that Israel represents the interests of the Jews. Israel is the Jewish home state. You already mentioned it, literally. You mentioned it literally a couple minutes ago, a couple seconds ago, as a matter of fact. This does not mean that the synagogue attacks are valid or just. They are not. They are acts of anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitic violence, as a matter of fact. This is why we say in this community and on the left that Israel, by packaging Zionism as a fundamental plank of Judaism, when one predates the other by thousands of years, by the way, you are playing into more anti-Semitism spreading because people see what Israel is doing. There's already a shit ton of anti-Semitism out there. And then when people see what Israel's doing, and then they see American media and Canadian media and all other like people in positions of power go, no, you're actually wrong for thinking that what Israel's doing is up. They don't have a way. They do not have a way of like parsing through that information. They're like, well, what? Israel keeps saying they're doing this for the Jews. Everyone else is saying that like me hating Israel means I'm hating Jews. Well, okay, I'm hating Jews then. Is literally the argument that people, the way of thinking that many people engage in. The expectation that there is going to be someone like myself who parses through this every day of the week is unfortunately unheard of. Israel is exacerbating and creating anti-Semitism by tying the actions of a state and the actions of a fascist ideology like Zionism to Judaism. It is gross. It is very dangerous. It happens to be very beneficial to Zionism, though. So many Zionists continue doing it. Because if Jews feel safe, or if Jews feel unsafe in other parts of the world, in the Western world, they're going to be more interested in moving to Israel or defending Israel because that's the Jewish homeland. It's the only place where Jews can be safe, even though Israel is not exactly safe for Jewish people at all. The one he mentioned in Toronto was solved actually. Crime breach. Toronto synagogue member accused of arson. Wait, what? The suspect is a member of the synagogue. Avram Bobrowski, 67 of Toronto, was arrested Friday. Police announced late Sunday and charged with arson and disregard for human life. No, it wasn't a false flag. It's probably for murder. Not everything has to be a false flag. I don't like this argument either. It makes it seem like real instances of anti-Semitism are all totally made up. Like it's not. Yeah, he's probably insane, dude. It's more likely that he was just out of his mind and he did that shit. Not that he was like specifically doing a self-hate crime so that they can tie it back to like Palestinians or whatever. They're not all made up, and using this as an example is wild. It doesn't matter. He also said that Hamas engaged in mass rapes, which so far there is no evidence for. And as a matter of fact, there's only evidence to disprove that narrative. Both the Times conducted an investigation, not the New York Times, the Times conducted an investigation. The UN's report also could not find any conclusive evidence that Hamas engaged in like mass-directed mass rapes. He's just saying a whole bunch of shit he doesn't believe. When he says believe women, he He doesn't believe women. He has cut so much propaganda against the Me Too movement, against women in general. But now, when it suits the purpose of defending Israel, he's like, well, believe women only left if they're not Jewish women in Israel. It's bullshit. Israel honors British journalist Douglas Murray for supporting post-October 7. Yeah. No, he's been getting glayed. There aren't that many warriors out there who will do this level of propaganda, so they'll gladly have him. They don't give a what he said before October 7.
A bookstore owned by a Jew should be attacked. Why a Molotov cocktail was thrown to a Jewish community centre in Montreal. Why a Toronto Jewish deli in North York was firebombed. Why in Toronto the Orthodox synagogue was vandalised. Why in Toronto 2 men opened fire the other week on a Jewish girls' school. If it isn't anti-Semitism, tell me why just a week ago
Capture zone is moving.
protesters
Sending new locations.
Jewish
You're
areas in
off
this
that now.
city shouting not just Allahu Akbar, but
Zone
and I quote,
compromised.
sorry for the language, filthy Zionist pigs, dirty Zionist rats.
We're locking down the zone.
Have you heard that language before? Did you have?
Ready for deployment.
He said Allahu Akbar would have been an anti-Semitic thing that they're saying in Jewish neighborhoods.
We're on track for mission
That kind of
success.
revealed his
Keep that
perspective a
capture.
little bit, didn't it? Is this guy even Jewish? I don't think Douglas Murray is Jewish, no. He's a right-wing charlatan and a fascist. Yeah. If you're Arab and you say Allahu Akbar, God is great, you're being anti-Semitic.
Anything the hospital
A lot of the
now
stuff
is
that he
likely
brought
too
up,
little,
as
too
far
late.
as like
We're locking
anti-Semitic
down the zone.
incidents, some of which are describable, like the bookstore that he just called a Jewish bookstore. I remember what that situation was about. The owner of the bookstore is a major Zionist and was literally trying to fundraise with the IDF. Get the fuck out of here, bro. What are we doing here?
Zone changing coordinates.
Like, what's up? You can't get mad at a person being like, dude, this guy's pro-Ukraine unconditionally. Imagine a Russian bookstore with a Russian owner in Canada being like,
We're
oh,
on
I'm
the
pushing
zone.
Z, this Ukraine bullshit. I'm trying to fund the Russian forces. You would literally go and kill that guy. Suck my dick. Can you imagine? Like, you would literally probably personally execute that person. Remember who else called people Juden rats, aka Jewish rats? You have failed the Jewish students and Jew hatred. Yeah, I do remember Shai Davide saying that like the pro-Palestinian Jews were, bad Jews. I don't remember him saying that though. He calls them Juden rock capos. Wait, what? You brainwash children into the terrorist mindset? When asked about Jewish students in JVP and Columbia University Jews for Ceasefire, Davide stated that he will still fight for them, calling them capos and Judenrat, groups of Jewish people who were forced to implement Nazi policy against other Jews. Just like Israel accepted the capos, like Israel accepted the Judenrat, they will accept the JVP and Jews for Ceasefire, Davide said. And I'm sorry, but it is not a big achievement to be on that last train to Auschwitz. I mean, dude, you're just insane. You are calling your own students capos for being on the right side of history. Anyway, I don't.
Now, look, if you are interested in this motion, just bear this in mind. It's not about Netanyahu. It's not about this war. It's about double standards. And one question hovers over it above all. The question of who would protect the Jews. Who would you trust to protect them? The Europeans? The Arab world? No. History shows only one people will protect the Jewish people. The Jewish people. That's what Zionism is. Thank you.
Well, this crowd seems very open-minded to the notion of maybe anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. Bro got a standing ovation for saying that Israel has to exist, otherwise Holocaust will happen literally all the time. Israel has to exist in the violent ways that it does by eroding the lives of the existing indigenous Palestinian population, destroying them, doing an ethnic cleansing, doing apartheid. If it doesn't exist that way, then, Holocaust 2, baby. Which, by the way, Holocaust 1, this dipshit, Douglas Murray, has definitely minimized. So, what is this about Gideon Levy? Gideon Levy's father left Nazi Germany on the last ship to Palestine before World War II and 2 meters away from Douglas Murray talks about how anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. I swear to God.
Zone A under assault.
Yeah, Gideon Levy being there makes this situation way weirder too, because he's like literally Jewish, descendant of Holocaust survivors, and is a very prominent Israeli reporter. So it's just like he is like the foremost authority in that
Zone
room.
A. Zone compromised.
Thank you for that opening statement, Douglas. Douglas, it's now Mehdi Hassan's opportunity to present the con side of the argument.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1917, over 100 years ago, Arthur Balfour, the British Foreign Secretary, a card-carrying anti-Semite, a man who had denounced the evils of Jewish immigration into the UK, a man who referred to Jews as an alien and hostile people, he issued his Balfour Declaration, which promised a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. It was the first time a major world power had come out in favor of Zionism, which at the time was a pretty new and pretty controversial movement, calling not just for a Jewish homeland, but for the building of a Jewish majority state in Palestine. And yet, the only Jewish member of the British cabinet at that time, a man named Edwin Stanley Montague, adamantly opposed both Zionism, which he called a mischievous political creed, and the Balfour Declaration, which he referred to as anti-Semitic, and a rallying ground for anti-Semites in every country in the world. The only Jewish member of the British cabinet, that is what he said. And yet, tonight here in Toronto, over 100 years later, we are being asked to vote for a motion that would damn Montague as the anti-Semite, while praising Balfour as the champion of Jews and Judaism. That's ridiculous. In fact, this entire motion tonight is ridiculous.
That's precisely the reason why Gideon Levy is on the anti-Semite side of the conversation, and Douglas Murray, who has literally said anti-Semitic shit, is propped up as like a defender of Jews. Because Israel only cares, Zionism means, as a fascist ideology, as a fascist project, the only thing that matters is the continuation of Zionism. Doesn't matter where your background is, doesn't matter what your opinions are. As long as you are pro-Israel, you can be as anti-Semitic as you want, potentially. That's it. And for the record, Ben Shapiro has revealed this. It's not like a secret at all. Ben Shapiro's openly stated this, okay? Immediately, the way they talk is so different. Many of us on actually talking about history and reality and context. Yeah.
Disingenuous, ahistorical. It says, be it resolved, anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. It doesn't say some anti-Zionists engage in anti-Semitism, which I don't disagree with. It doesn't say some anti-Semites hide behind the cloak of anti-Zionism, which again I don't disagree with. Everything Douglas listed about what's happening in Toronto is disgusting. Reprehensible. Those people are shameless bigots. I could push some That's not what the motion says. The motion says anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. No ifs, no buts, no caveats, no exceptions. Anyone who takes an anti-Zionist position is automatically, inherently, unavoidably anti-Jewish, an anti-Semite, a racist. That is what you would be voting for if you make the mistake of voting for this motion tonight, which I'm sure you won't do because you are far too smart and nuanced an audience to do that. You are Canadians! And I have no great respect for Canadians. I say that for no apparent reason whatsoever. I like Canadians. I like Israelis. My debate partner tonight, Gideon Levy, Israeli writer, is one of my journalistic heroes. It's a privilege to be on the stage with him. But this debate fundamentally at its core, and I kind of agree with Douglas here, it's not about Israelis. It's not about Israel. It's not about Gaza. And by the way, on the subject of Gaza, given Douglas gave us some math about the death toll on October the 7th, horrific death toll, I would remind you also that the death toll inflicted on Gaza, the deaths and injuries in Gaza are the equivalent, if we're going to do the ratios, of 2 million Canadians. 2 million Canadians. But that's not what the debate is about. It's not even about Zionism itself. It's about the legitimacy of anti-Zionism, whether you can be anti-Zionist, opposed to Zionism, which remember is a political ideology, a nationalist movement, not a religion, not a race, not a protected class, whether you can be anti-Zionist without being smeared, tarred, demonized as an anti-Semite. And I want to be clear tonight. You could be the most pro-Israeli person in this room tonight, the most proud and ardent Zionist here, and still vote against this motion with a clear conscience. Still vote with our side, the right side. Because this motion is not about whether you are pro-Israel or pro-Zionist. It's about whether the rest of us have the right, the freedom to take a different view on Israel, on Zionism, on Benjamin Netanyahu even, without being silenced, without being told we're racists. We're not. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. I'll tell you 3 reasons why. 3 reasons why you should oppose this motion tonight. Number 1, if you vote for this motion tonight, you are throwing logic, history, and the English language under the bus. Because anti-Semitism is hating Jews, the people, and Judaism, the religion. Anti-Zionism is opposing Israel, the state, and Zionism, the ethno-nationalist ideology that underpins that state. Zionism is not Judaism. Let me say that again for the people up top. Zionism is not Judaism, right? It's a very modern, secular, political ideology movement that was founded less than 150 years ago by an atheist named Theodore Herzl, who said, and I quote, "The anti-Semites will be our most dependable friends, the anti-Semitic countries, our allies." His words, not mine. Number 2, if you vote for this motion, you're throwing Palestinians as a people under the bus. You're telling an occupied people, a dispossessed people, to accept their own occupation, their own dispossession, meekly, in silence. Otherwise, they're racists. As my friend Yusuf Manaya, the Palestinian-American activist, says, to ask Palestinians not to be anti-Zionist is to ask Palestinians not to be. And number 3, last but not least, if you vote for this motion, you're throwing a lot of Jews under the bus as well. Not just Jews like Edwin Samuel Montague, but Jews today. If you vote for this motion tonight, you're saying my debate partner, Gideon Levy, whose grandparents were killed in the Holocaust, who served for Shimon Peres, who's written for Haaretz for over 40 years, just won Israel's top journalism prize 3 years ago. He's an anti-Semite. You're saying the Satmar, the world's biggest Hasidic Jewish sect, which says it is fighting God's war against Zionism, is anti-Semitic. You're saying Jewish college students on campus, maybe some of them your kids, members of If Not Now and Jewish Voices for Peace, they're anti-Semites. You're saying some of the most respected Jewish voices in the world, like Abraham Berg, the former Speaker of the Parliament, Miriam Margolis, the actress from Harry Bloody Potter, they're all anti-Semites. That is what you are saying. That is what you're signing off on if you vote for this motion tonight. So I have a simple solution for you all. Don't do it. Vote instead for common sense, for free speech, and the right to criticize a foreign country, the right to criticize a foreign country and a political ideology. I beg to oppose.
Thank you. Natasha Hausdorff, let's have your opening statement now.
Well, thank you and good evening. What a privilege it is to be here, stood on this stage on what I consider to be the most important topic of our age. I have to begin with a debating tip coming from a land with a culture of a rich history of debate.
I have no idea who this person is, by the way. I do know Douglas Murray, but I don't know who she is. Is this in Canada or in England? Why is everyone English? It's in Canada. Okay, so what is she? Rebel News? No way. No way she's a Rebel News person. That's crazy. Isn't Rebel News also like openly far right? No shot.
And that is that in debates, it is for the proposition to define the motion. And
where are the Canucks at? Someone in Canada, explain to me.
Douglas did that for you, loud and clear. Mehdi seems to think that he can redefine anti-Zionism without you noticing, but the proposition are not going to allow him to pull the wool over your eyes and conflate Zionism with politics. Who has the right to define Zionism? Well, apart from the proposition in this debate, because that's how the rules work. Would you ask a misogynist to define misogyny? You wouldn't ask a sex offender to define rape? You wouldn't ask the KKK to define anti-black racism. So why, when it comes to the Jews, would you let the anti-Zionists define...
Wait, isn't that argument the opposite? Why would you ask someone who is a Zionist, and it doesn't mean that they're like Jewish automatically? Like in every single one of those issues that she personally mentioned, she said, why would you ask those in power, the powerful party, engaging in the violent actions, what like right of resistance the victims have? Like the dynamic is the exact opposite of the way she presents it. Asking Zionists, not Jews, Zionists, whether they are Christian, whether they're Muslim, whether they are Jewish, doesn't matter. Asking Zionists, those who defend Israel, how they feel about anti-Israeli sentiment is insane. It's no different than asking a Klansman how they feel being called a racist. Yeah, I don't think the Klansman is going to appreciate it. Why the f would we ask them that? Yeah, why don't you ask the architects of the South African apartheid to define apartheid? Exactly. That's so weird.
Anti-Zionism. No, ladies and gentlemen, no minority should have its identity dictated to it. And we have defined Zionism. It concerns the right of the Jewish people to self-determination in their ancient homeland. Zionism is not a political ideology. Zionism does not stipulate how the Jewish state should be governed, which is what a political ideology does. It simply says it should exist. It doesn't dictate borders or the makeup of population. It does not say that Israel should be socially...
Wait, what? It's like saying Nazism isn't a political ideology. What the f? Nazism wills outside? Oh, shit. Yeah, Nazism isn't a political ideology. After all, Nazi Germany did not have, like, definable boundaries. Nazi Germany had boundaries that consistently expanded, for example. Just like Israel had boundaries that consistently expanded.
It would seem, or capitalist startup nation, Israel has exemplified both of those and everything in between. This is not about political ideology. This debate is about racism and creating a double standard where you make an exception for the Jews. Now, you don't have to support Zionism. But if you are anti-Zionist, if you are against the Jews having a state, you are against the Jews. Mehdi Hassan is lying about what Zionism is, and in an attempt to win this debate and to provide cover for his own anti-Semitism, we usually hear a series of lies spewed by anti-Semites and anti-Zionists. in an attempt to justify their anti-Zionism, and these are the modern blood libel. They are widely believed, as widely believed as the ancient blood libel, that Jews killed Christian children to use their blood for religious ritual, as widely believed and as false. I'm going to take you through 4 blood libels that anti-Zionists rely on. Number 1, the libel of colonialism. Israel is the ultimate decolonization success story. Against all odds, after Arab imperialism, Islamic conquest, and British colonialism, the indigenous to Judea re-established Israel. My family lived under Ottoman and then British colonialism in Jerusalem long before Yasser Arafat, who was born in Cairo, created Palestinian national identity in the 60s. Number 2.
Oh, she's hitting every marker. Arafat created the Palestinian identity. Yasser Arafat. This is literally, we have the same thing from Son of Hamas. Remember Son of Hamas? Oh God, this is so predictable. Yeah, the concept of Palestinian was invented by Yasser Arafat. It's so weird because like, it seems like everybody fully understood what that area was. It's called British Mandate Palestine. If you look at like Jews who immigrated into British Mandate Palestine circa 1948 and their documentation, it literally says Palestine and their place of birth. Yeah. Why is it that all the maps say Palestine? Why is it straight that like the early Zionist movement openly said that they were colonialists? Why did they reach out to Cecil Rhodes, and try to set up allegiances? It's just so strange to do as an indigenous movement, a land back movement. Oh.
The libel of ethnic cleansing. In 1948, when 5 Arab armies and the local Arab population attacked the fledgling state of Israel with the stated intention of annihilating its people, 700,000 Arabs escaped the fight.
The issue, by the way, I can already tell what the issue is. Mehdi Hasan is playing to the actual debate boundaries because he's too much of a debate lord. On the other side, the pro-Israel side, they're not doing that. They're just hitting all the propaganda talking points that are so much broader. Nothing that she mentioned has anything to do with like anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism being anti-Semitism. Douglas Murray did a decent job hitting all the pro-Israel talking points, all the Hasbara talking points of modern Hasbara, post-October 7 Hasbara. She is going through all of the talking points of like historic Hasbara that you hear when you're growing up and going to like Jewish camp or going to Birthright, that kind of shit. Like there are Jewish chatters who probably have heard a lot of the things that she just mentioned.
Those that remained became Israeli citizens. The Arab population of Israel has increased tenfold. This is ethnic cleansing? No. Ethnic cleansing is what happened to the Jews in 1948 when Jordan occupied the West Bank. Ethnic cleansing is what happened to 850,000 Jews expelled from Yemen.
Bro, there's something really crazy about being close to the Holocaust in history, only to turn around and be like, yeah, you know what? In 1948, the real ethnic cleansing happened when the Arabs did it to the Jews. Like that is entirely too close to the Holocaust for you to be like, the real ethnic cleansing? You thought I was going to say the Holocaust did it to you. Turns out, nope. That was wild.
Algeria,
anyway,
Egypt,
Will's
Morocco,
here.
Syria.
So I'm not going to continue doing this shit. We're going to go to Disney Pride Night. It's always just crime, dude. How is that possible? Like, it's just shocking to me that it's always, the answer always is just crime. You're like, what kind of content goes on at Kick? And the answer is crime. Dude, this is like 2-hour video. That's why I've been like not meaning to watch it.
Has its ups and its downs, and 90% of its downs are made up by the people that
bro, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I don't hate anyone, but I really, really hate you, bro.
All clout-chasing, jealous, hypocritical losers. I will do anything to get to the top. I'll do anything for a viral moment.
You're not self-aware. You don't realize that you come off as patronizing your little bro, all your friends all the way to try and sway. That's why they say F you down the line. Yeah, that's really weird because all of those people, all of my friends that are still my friends have similar like-minded opinions, and the ones that say F you down the line have made $100 million in the process. Like you say you're not self-aware. You don't realize that you come off as patronizing, except like, you know, the ones that are like the open haters have all been paid, whether it be Aiden Ross, XQC, Trainwreck himself. What do you mean? Point me to a person that like despises me and hates me that I've had like a direct relationship with prior. Now, it sure seems weird that like all of these people that hate your worldview, hate your opinions, find you to be patronizing. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? Think about all these people who I've, you know, continued trying to be friends with and trying to change their opinion. I've babied them. I've tried tough love. And the ones that actually do turn and go, f this guy, he's a piece of shit, almost always are caught in the crosshairs, like saying either transphobic shit or being consistently on the right side of politics. And by that, I mean right-wing side of politics. Or they get paid, by people that are you know, paying them to promote Kick or Stake. Do you think that I'm pushing them away to Kick? Or do you think it's, you know, $100 million that sounds a little bit more, $100 million sounds a little bit better, probably, right? Like, what's more inviting? That wasn't the argument that you made. No, but I sometimes think you can be patronizing. Yeah, but that's not the argument you're making. You're saying that you're not self-aware, you're patronizing, you little bro your friends that you try to sway, and that's why they take you down the line. Implying that I'm the one pushing them away into the throes of right-wing politics. It's ridiculous. Also, you are, you know, you are making speculations about how I am with my friends in the real world, it seems, or content creators that you watch on the other side of the screen, and how we behave alongside one another in our private moments.
Kick is a joke. It's like going to a zoo and just pointing at all of the exhibits and just being like, that's interesting, and then walking by.
You may have seen this clip. A woman is dining at a restaurant minding her own business when some middle school live streamer comes out of nowhere and grabs the food off her plate in a sad attempt to impress his chat. And then he gets mad at her for calling him out, making it seem like she's the crazy one for having a normal human reaction.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that to people. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you stop filming me? You're nobody else. It's a lie. Don't do that again. Hold up. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
I won't reveal the name of this toddler, mostly because it's not relevant, and also I'm just a spiteful guy. But I do think he serves as a good example of this new wave of streamers who try to make a name for themselves by being a public nuisance and not much else. Someone like you or me may look at this clip and see it as the embarrassing display of desperation that it is, but it's important to remember there's also an entire generation of younger viewers out there who may see it differently. Believe it or not, this kid does have an active fan base, one that festers over on the controversial Twitch alternative, Kick.
Occupied. Marking the objective and pushing coordinates to your op set.
Oh god, I'm gonna dox your entire family. What's your name?
Kick is popular for a few reasons. For one, it's a safe haven for degenerate gamblers to broadcast their addictions in real time. I mean, the crypto casino Stake that serves as its lifeblood was started by Kick co-founder Ed Craven. They call him that because he's craving a jackpot every time he opens his stream. But Kick is also known for its brazen terms of service. He marketed by their co-owner and friend of this channel, Aiden Ross, as the ultimate beacon of free speech for this very reason. Unrelated, but in preparation for this video, I did sit down and watch an Aiden Ross stream, and I kid you not, this is what he was talking about when I first tuned in.
Don't call me real nice. Y'all make the bro put his hand in the water. What? He beat his pants. It was a drunk night. He blacked out. I took my two fingers and rubbed it on his crotch area. He put out a pee on my fingers. And I made
Capture zone contested.
Incredible stuff happening on Kick. There's nothing like it. Seems like every other day we see someone over there pulling a gun on their girlfriend or throwing an Uber driver's phone in the street or pissing out of their second-story window. Those last two are actually the same person, by the way. Shout out to Xena the Witch on Kick. We're at 300 bookmarks. It's diabolical.
jump it out the window.
The point is, you have to really try to get even as much as a 10-day ban on Kick. It takes a lot. I just want to add something else here before we continue. While I was editing this video, 2 other creators wound up in the news for streaming themselves on Kick drinking and driving. Just flying down the interstate at 110, throwing back a bottle of Smirnoff, being in active danger to everyone else on the road. Even hurling the bottle out the window into oncoming traffic at one point. Kick is barely a year old. How has it already had so much controversy? Take Riot Law, for example, who was recently outed by YouTubers talking about chickens as a root who use the illegal alternative of monkey to collect explicit images and videos of young girls on stream to post in a Discord server without their consent or knowledge. Many of these girls were underage.
Wait, listen, how old are you? I'm 19. Oh. You said 18?
Yeah. Riot's account has since been deleted, but not until this video began making the rounds, causing a bit of a PR problem for the folks over at Kick. Something About Chickens showed evidence of a literal Kick staff member in Riot's chat at the same time Riot was speaking to underage girls. Not exactly the best look for the platform, I think most would agree. What could have been a promising competitor to the monopolies of YouTube and Twitch has so far been nothing but a breeding ground for the lowest, most obnoxious illegal activity you can think of. And that isn't much of an exaggeration to say.
The zone's in danger. Capture zone
Today,
contested.
we'll be documenting a total of 5 Kick streamers who have all become infamous for their own separate reasons. Not all of these people are nearly as criminal as Riot, of course, which is why we'll be starting easy with some of the least egregious offenders first, before moving on to the more depraved scumbags later on. This is going to be a long one, and it probably won't be the easiest to sit through at certain points. But I am personally fascinated in shining a light on the more unique personalities Kick has been known to target. And by unique, I mean downright villainous.
Epsilon agent activated sonar goggles. Zone under assault.
We got real names. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. I get real names of individuals. Like, their actual names and shit. Where they live, their family, photos. It hits differently on a different platform.
But we obviously have a lot to cover today, so before we get too deep here, I want to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, Delete Me. If you're at least a little bit scared of data brokers, you should be. For all we know, they're scouring the internet right now in search of your publicly available information to sell against your will, opening the door for all kinds of stalking, cyber attacks, and even identity theft, all of which I'm not a fan of, which is why Delete Me works to keep your information nice and private. I recommend Delete Me just for how fast they manage to identify where exactly my data has been posted and how seamlessly they were able to remove it. Just submit the information you want to be removed from search engines and receive a detailed Delete Me report in as little as 7 days, showing how much data was found, where it was found, and how it was removed. Another thing I appreciate is that as the data broker industry expands, so does the list of sites Delete Me scans for, making them as effective in removing as much PII as possible, or personally identifiable information. If you're stupid like me, PII can be easily found through public government records, self-reported information, and social media, just to give you an idea of how pervasive this stuff is. Trust me, it's something you don't want to mess around with. So don't wait. Visit joindeleteme.com/Jobbery right now and get 20% off your U.S. consumer plan when you use promo code Jobbery at checkout. Again, that's joindeleteme.com/Jobbery, promo code Jobbery when you check out. Huge thanks again to the wonderful people over at Delete Me for sponsoring this behemoth of a video.
Zone under assault.
I can't think of anyone who captures the aura of Kick.com better than Neon. Neon has garnered a reputation as this kind of sniveling hypebeast dork who's constantly staring at his phone for validation from his chat. And I mean constantly. He's never not looking at what other people are saying about it. Alright, but then he'll also just let other big streamers bully him to his face.
We're on the zone.
Yep. Why would you say? Why? No, because I'm an asshole. I said, I don't know any. Don't do it harder. Apologize to BBG, Doug, Zilla.
The zone's in danger.
Say, I'm gonna buy your album tomorrow. I'm buying it.
In order to be famous, Neon had to give up any semblance of the spine he may have had. The kid has a negative self-respect.
I mean, didn't this guy literally get on the scene early on before he became a Twitch streamer by like saying the N-word or some shit? Like, it's more than Aiden Ross. Like, he used to just like be unimaginably racist, and I think like Aiden was basically using him as an even bigger lolcow than himself.
At this point, watch any clip to see what I mean. He also gets jumped a lot. That's sort of his thing too.
This is a public announcement. Anyone who sees me IRL, I will give you $1,000 if you beat my. No one's fucking touching me. I'm untouchable, nigga. I'm untouchable.
The shoes we got his ass laggy. Come on, bro.
So he's faked getting jumped so many times that the one time it ended up being real, people in his chat still said he scripted it. Yeah, people don't really like Neon very much, if you couldn't already tell. And that includes his own bodyguard.
You got 80,000 people watching you disrespect me.
Wait, how's
how we're doing it?
I always do that.
Guess what? 80,000 people cap botted out to oblivion too. That's the other thing. Anyway. Yeah, dude, everything about this shit is fake. It's like the modern Zoomer equivalent of like all the Zoomer Instagram cryptocurrency legends portraying themselves as like multi-millionaires. It is basically the Zoomer equivalent of that. The viewers are botted. There's like payments that are given to clippers. That's why they call them clippers, okay? Like, you know the Hoppenabi Clips Industrial Complex? It's kind of like that. It's like all of these Twitch, because they don't have like an organic audience of like real fans, they basically pay people to post like these clips and shit from the stream. And all of these guys already have like a lot of botted accounts. All of these guys have botted accounts to begin with, like the blue check mark accounts, you know what I mean? That are constantly posting shit, like stealing tweets from other people, like Feared Buck or whatever. The other one, Scuba Ryan, like all these dudes, they literally will get paid in many instances, I think, by people like this dipshit who post it. That's why you look at some of the comments and people are like, who watches this guy? I've never seen this dude other than, or Kira, yeah. I've never seen this dude other than like on these, you know, Twitter accounts. Like he was actually just like sitting there and watching that shit. Nah, he's just really popular. Yeah, dude, that's why he has 80,000 people watching, right? No, he does not actually have 80,000 people watching him at any given moment. You're out of your mind. Brother, when I had 30,000 real people watching in here, or close to 80,000 people watching in here, we had the New York Times write an article about it, about the 2020 election cycle.
I don't mean it like that, though.
But that's what it reads like. You're going too much.
If you happen to be religious, I urge you to please pray for this man's sanity.
If I was a girl and I came in the room, I could be dripping to see me, bro. I swear to God, bro, you are.
Like, these are 5K viewers. If I'm being charitable, these are like maximum 5K real viewers, okay?
Yo, wannabe, he is today.
Break. Stop driving my car. Get out. Just driving my car.
Nico flashes a gun at Neon. Jesus Christ, dude.
Get out.
Zone under assault.
Neon was once just a little kid from Texas trying to make it big on YouTube. In fact, he and I actually both started making videos at roughly the same age, I found out, with the bulk of his early content being him playing NBA 2K, not unlike the beginning of another popular kick streamer's illustrious career. Nisa didn't generate the most views, but you can tell he was having fun with it, uploading multiple times a week from 2016
Can anyone
to 2020.
provide first aid?
Neon eventually turned into, I have to admit, some of this early stuff is actually kind of endearing.
Zone under assault. Tango to zone, changing location.
Here comes that deep down, please.
2K players blowing up, yeah, not playing 2K. Almost all of the new meta of 2K players, new crop of 2K players, just stop playing 2K. And it's literally like, it's the Aiden Ross, even Kai was a 2K player as well, but like you have the two different pathways. You either become unimaginably popular, you have a good network of friends and content creators in your vicinity like AMP, and you go in the Kai route, or, you know, Phantom, Agent, all those guys, or you go the route of Aiden Ross.
Zone under assault.
If we're looking at it in a vacuum, it's actually kind of sweet watching someone so young work to make his
Speed used to be a 2K streamer. I did not know that. Speed is like the only one that I can think of that like went through the middle of that route. Like parts Aiden Ross style, parts Tyson Ad style popularity.
Dreams come true. He'd answer questions from his viewers and open up about his struggle.
Changing coordinates.
And you really get a sense that he cared about his public image. He was heavily invested in the beefing with other creators from an early age.
People want to get their views and start acting
in danger.
fake. And then he has the nerve to lie on stream. He doesn't want smoke. He doesn't want me to pull up again.
I'm sorry. He doesn't want the smoke. Bro, you're 12. Go do your homework.
Capture zone
Seek out
contested.
his
We're on
audience's
the zone.
approval more and more, and chastising them when they said something he didn't like, and just seeking out reassurance that they still supported him whenever he'd take breaks.
I just want to let y'all know that I will be taking a break from streaming, but let me know if you guys support me in the comments. Let me know if you guys support me.
Worrying about approval from an audience of complete strangers is not usually something a normal child has to think about. And honestly, it's easy to imagine that would mess with you.
Bro, like, y'all will really be motivating me. Y'all always comments say my channel is dead, yo. I understand my channel is dead, okay? Let me go. Really go crazy. I'm trying. I know I've been doing season stuff for a reason. Kind of demotivating that, like, people start stopping supporting me.
Rogue Echelon agent activated sonar goggles. Allies on the zone.
The pressure to
zone's in
always
danger.
perform is what I imagine led him to continue raising the stakes with every new upload. He had this whole arc where he pretended to get arrested for breaking into his neighbor's house and needed to get bailed out from jail by a friend. The description for this one is so wild. This is Maddie Mags. I had to upload this video for Neon due to the fact that he got detained earlier than
Mission
expected.
accomplished.
Please keep him in your prayers. Please pray he comes back home soon. Well, thankfully he did, only a couple days later, where he tells us all about the tough time he had in the slammer.
It was kind of scary, bro. Because, like, you know, there's a bunch of old people over there, like, mustaches and beards, and it got me scared. I just kept trying to do my wild Indian dance, and they were just making fun of me, bro. I had a red dot on my forehead when I went in there. I had a big red dot, and they said my red dot looked like the Target logo.
Oh, okay. I think Neon is also the first streamer in history to ever be swatted by a U.S. president.
Know what you look like and where you live.
These were the videos that started to get him some heat. I don't think I need to sit here and tell you.
Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Well, actually, I'm gonna go for a walk and do some cleaning. I'll be back later, though. Bye bye.